What's going on, everybody? Been watching a lot of stuff these past 4 days. A lot of stuff going on with the Derek Chauvin trial. A lot of murders. Our black women and children are still being murdered. I find it very, 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 very sad that in a time where we need our black men to stick together, the time where we need our black men the most, many of them have turned their backs on us. Some of them have sided against George Floyd. Some are even slapping us in the face by making stupid podcasts about high value men being able to cheat. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about this high value world of dereliction. Gangsta talk up next. Dang.
Yeah, son. There's mad kids out there getting cream for the 9 bro. Yeah, and I've been doing this for a long time. Shoot the game going for mine. Alright. And there's mad caps get peeled. So I'ma spark this line, kick the reel.
Bang them out.
With all this chaos in the realms of the street, your local street dog got to make ends meet. The average Joe's far too slow for this ghetto flow. You better know, when I hit the streets, I like to glow, I like to glisten. And at the same time, stay low, listen, motherfuck the thing. I'm pursuing the dope. My stilo is symbolic to a kilo. Cash is popping, coke's cooking, beans is copping. Ain't that some shit? A player that's used to living rich is now a sticky kid, caught up in a ditch. In 94, Giuliani kicked down the door. In 95, niggas flipped to stay alive. Peeling caps while I laugh. In the stats, the 4.5. Remy in the glass, spark the boom, then I blast. They wanna confine me, sneak up from behind me. Bust a cap in my back and put me where they can't find me. They hate to see a young player pay. They don't wanna see that, son. They rather see him spray. But I'm like Diddy, a Terminator, squeeze the lead off. Using verbs and nouns like rounds to blow your head off. Hitting up spots, heating up blocks. Invested in stocks like Colombian blow crops. I'm out to get cream and ain't no doubt in my mind. Fuck this broke shit, I'm hit, I get down for mine. Yeah, get you up. I get down for mine. Get down for this. Get your money, put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. Get down for this. On the regular, shit, nigga, no fair. I get down for mine. Get down for this. Get your money, put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. Get down for this. On the regular, shit, nigga. I hear you wanna be a player. I ain't some place you bet. Let's play a game of real nigga roulette. With this a DOA as I spray the melee. Contact and punctuation is compared to AKs. You in a daze. Overdose for pure funk. I'm fucking off like Tommy Gibb. But karma's a booty smoke. Decapitated rappers in my trunk. I'm sick, pumping skunk, bouncing with my click, popping mega jump. I'm getting back while these clowns be zigzagging. What's this talk about flipping keys? Come on, you're nickel bagging. I'm blasting off wings and making doubters believe it. You see, I was packing heaters when jokers was banging cheerleaders. Ain't nothing changed, it's still the same in the rap game. I'm known for banging rookies out the frame. Y'all done forgot who was the pimp from the start. Sipping vintage wine, eating a la carte. I'm phenomenal from the abdominal. Far from comical lyrics and stick in the brains like barnacles. Never sleep. I'm bringing the drama to the streets with techniques and rolling in fleets. Ain't nothing sweet about the streets, so I'm poetically ill. I'm pure like cook up and lyrics shine like fish scale. I got the banger at your throat and you ain't showing no signs. K-Dep, let them know I get down for mine. I get down for mine. So we get down for dance and you put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. So we get down for dance on the regular. Shake it, no fear. I get down for mine. So we get down for dance and you put your hands in the air. I get down for mine. So we get down for dance on the regular. Shake it, no fear. I get down for mine. I get down for mine.
right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this early morning edition of Gangsta Talk. It's been a while. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, taking some much needed time off. I am a working man, blue collar man, which is basically what a lot of our society is built off of blue collar workers. Many of us were raised in blue collar households, and now we're being asked to abandon that way. Many of us come up in strong families of fathers who were hardworking blue collar men. Now we're being asked to ignore those men and only focus on men that are the least in this society. Not many men make, well, not many black men make six figures, but there's a whole lot of black men that make five figures. And five figures raised a lot of us. A lot of us come up off of five-figure households of hard-working black men, construction workers, um, electricians, plumbers, um, bricklayers, masons, you name it. But when you look at what's going on today, the black family is something that has been lost. It's been lost for a long time. And instead of trying to repair that, we have brothers who are trying to make sure the black family never comes together again. That is what this new wave of so-called high value garbage is about. It's about keeping the black family broken, keeping the black family separated. And it has absolutely no respect for black love. You see, you have males here, black males here on social media who push this high value crap. I was just watching a podcast the other day by that fool Kevin Samuels talking about, should high value men have the option to cheat? Some bullshit like that. You see, this is an attempt for black women to accept unfaithfulness. See, black men already have a reputation of being unfaithful. So I'm rather doing something about it and making it untrue. These brothers seek to not only make it true, but want you to get used to it. They want you to embrace it. You're talking about men who don't value family life. They don't value black love. They don't love their children. They don't love you. They don't love themselves. They hate themselves. A lot of them had a bunch of hit and misses in their lives. They missed in marriages. They missed in relationships. And so when men have all of these misses when it comes down to relationships, they tend to create these fairy tale things. They create personas. They have a wish list. They walk around and they think they're pimps all of a sudden. They're players. Rather than the losers that they are, they fancy themselves as debonaires and players and create some fictional world that they try to draw you black women into and tell you it enough to the point where you actually believe that this world is a world of reality that you live in when it really isn't. It's just a fantasy of theirs that they've created, that they want you to be a part of, and they want you to accept. They want you to accept a black man that is unfaithful. They want you to accept a black man that has no understanding of black love. They want you to accept a black man that doesn't love his children. They want you to accept a black man that doesn't love his woman. They want you to accept a black man that's not going to be faithful to you. And their reason for doing this is that this man makes enough money that he should be able to go out and do these things and treat women the way he wants to treat women rather than treat women with respect and dignity and class. Now, you have some sisters out here falling for this stuff. You actually think that this kind of male is the kind of male you should be with. But in reality, this is the kind of male you should be running away from. I mean, you think about what's being said. You think about the position that they've taken against black people and against the black family. They don't promote love. They don't promote black family. They failed at having their own black families. These guys don't have no credentials. You shouldn't be listening to these guys. But then again, I can't tell you who to listen to, who not to listen to. But you're talking about people who've created this whole fictional world of high value males. All of these guys are failures in real life. They failed at relationships. They can't create relationships. They can't sustain relationships. They can't sustain their family. They fail. Many of them are on child support and don't want to pay child support. Many of them don't take care of their children. But they got these podcasts and they're telling you that this is what this is about. And this is a lot of extreme immaturity here. These aren't men who are mentally mature. Don't be fooled by the fancy articulation of the suits and stuff like that. It's been a very immature. It's been a very selfish. In many ways, they sound like male feminists. You know those man-hating feminists out there who hate men? Well, they are the antithesis of that. They are male feminists who hate women. And they prove it over and over again. They are high strung, extremely emotional. They're very sensitive. As soon as a woman's tone of voice changes, these guys start to freak out. They lose it because they are extremely sensitive. These aren't strong men by any stretch of the imagination. These are mentally and emotionally weak men. And these aren't men that are fit to be husbands and fathers. That's why they're not husbands and they aren't good fathers. That's why many of them are on child support because they're terrible fathers. And that's why many of them are single because they're not fit to be in a relationship. And you're listening to guys who aren't fit to be in a relationship with a woman because they are too weak mentally and too weak emotionally. Unfortunately, though, they have a platform here on social media that black women seem to be interested in and seem to think that they should measure themselves by these weak men. I mean, and we've gotten to the point where the weakest male in our society is the one with the loudest voice. We have a lot of soul searching to do as black people. I mean, if we out here, black women, if you out here chasing weak males, males who are unfit to be your husband, males who are unfit to be fathers to the children, you have a lot of soul searching to do. You need to have a sit down with yourself and really go over how you're doing things and what kind of decisions that you're making in your life. If these are the guys that you're chasing, if these are guys that you want to be noticed by, if these are the guys that you think are top shelf. I mean, the silliness behind the things that they say is insane. And then they're very superficial. As soon as somebody shows up, what's your weight, what's your height, your dress size. These aren't men who these aren't loving men. So you have to say to yourself, what are you actually looking for? Are you looking for an abusive relationship? Because if that's what you're looking for, then these guys are it. These are the guys you want. Okay? If you're looking for an abusive relationship in any capacity, then the manosphere guys are the guys you're looking for. But if you're looking for a relationship that's based off of black love and strong leadership with a strong man who's fit to be a husband, who's fit to be a father, and these aren't the guys you're looking for. They can't fit that. They're not built like that. These guys aren't cut out for that. And it's obvious that they're not cut out for that. They show you that they pretty much tell you that they're not cut out for that. The one thing I could say about them is that they don't lie about who they are. They are weak and they are unfit, and they tell you that all the time. They tell you that when they tell you that they're not loving men and have no interest in love. When they look at you like some kind of product that you purchase off of a shelf in a department store. You know, when they say they checking for you, right? It's kind of like when you go to a car dealership and you're looking at a car, you're checking it out, right? It's kind of like when you go and buy an outfit, you're checking it out. Well, they pretty much do the same thing, but women, they're checking you out. Okay, how tall are you? 5'10", 200 pounds, your dress size. So as far as they're concerned, if your numbers don't meet their standards, you're not a woman to them, and you're not somebody that deserves to be talked to. You're somebody that deserves the lower end of society and the lower end of what society has to offer. These men don't have any consideration or compassion for women that don't fit their numbers, that don't fit their criteria. If you're not a small dress size, if you don't weigh a certain amount, then they have no respect for you whatsoever. As a matter of fact, they treat you with as much disdain as humanly possible. They talk to you in a horrible way. It's like they just dismiss you as a person. And that's who you're looking for. That's who you think is the craze. That's who you think is the person you should be out here pursuing. Somebody like that. Why would you want to deal with a guy that as soon as he throw out some numbers to you and you answer those questions and those numbers don't jive with him, all of a sudden he no longer thinks you're a human being and proceeds to treat you as if you're not a human being, like you are undeserving of respect, like you're not a person. So if your dress size is a 10, right, all of a sudden you no longer get any respect. And you shouldn't be talked to in any respect. As a matter of fact, you have a nerve to even be opening up your mouth if your dress size is a 10. Who the hell do you think you are as far as they're concerned? Your dress size is a 10. You don't get to talk to me. You don't get to speak. What the fuck is this? A goddamn a fucking gladiator movie? What? Are these guys stuck in some kind of bad Ben-Hur movie? You know? I mean, think about it. As soon as your dress size is out of their scope, their numerical scope, all of a sudden your rights get taken away from you as a human being. You don't deserve to be talked to with any respect. You don't deserve to be looked at with any respect. You don't deserve to be desired. You don't deserve to be treated as a woman no more. As far as they're concerned, you're no longer a woman. You have become a thing to them. And that's the way they treat you. That's the way they talk to you. And that is what you're looking for. That is what you're running over there for, to be treated like that. Then there's some things you need to check out about yourself. Because if you're running over there with that, then there's something about you that seems to be addicted to abuse. Because that's the only thing that's waiting for you over there with these guys with this fake high value male nonsense. Something but abuse. And they become very, very abusive. Kevin Samuels, if you notice, he's okay until the tone of your voice change. Or until you give him some numbers that don't jive with him. I was watching him talk to a woman. The first thing he asked her was, now, she felt she had an opinion. She felt like she wanted to say something. But you see, he determines whether you have an opinion or not by your dress size, by your height and weight. If your dress size is too big for him, if you're too tall or if you're too heavy, you don't get a right to speak. You don't have the right to speak. You don't have a right to decide nothing. As far as he's concerned, you are nobody. You're not even a woman to him. You become like some thing that he think is icky. Now, I can't tell you sisters what to do, but man, if that's what you're into, a lot of y'all got some serious issues. These guys are losers. You got to understand something, right? All these guys over there with this high value crap, these fake dating coaches, right? Those guys are losers. These aren't some high riding jet set type dudes who got it all going on. These guys are losers. These guys can't sustain relationships. These guys are terrible fathers. These guys are unfit to be husbands and fathers. This is why they created this fictional high value world of dereliction. That's all it is. It's a high value world of dereliction. These guys are derelicts. And they're trying to make you believe that there's something else. It's kind of like putting a lipstick on a pig. It's kind of like a homeless guy who doesn't have a job, right? But if you give him a haircut and put a suit on him, he looks like he's a productive member of society. But he's just a homeless guy with a haircut and a suit. That's what these guys are. They're losers. Look at these guys' background. I don't dox people or anything like that, but I just go on what these guys say themselves. These guys are terrible husbands. They're all divorced. They're terrible husbands and they're terrible fathers. It's why they complain the most and the loudest about child support because they don't love their own children. This is why they want to be swingers all the time. This is why they want to get into your mind that it's okay for a black man to be faithful. Now, as black men, we already got bad reputations. Our reputation is in the toilet already. But these guys want to take the part where they say black men are unfaithful, and they are embracing that. And they want you to embrace it too. They want you to get used to a man being unfaithful. They want you to believe that this is a normal thing that black men do. It's normal for black men to be unfaithful. And they come at you in baby steps. They don't come at you hard. They come at you in baby steps. Hey, the high value man. which is really a black man. Okay. Basically, what they're trying to do is carve out a niche for themselves, the loser niche, and they're giving it a fancy name like high value. We're then really nothing but high losers, and they call it high value, right? And they say, well, we want to be able to have our cake and eat it too. We want to be able to cheat. We want to be able to have options. Why? Because we make this kind of money. Now, a lot of those guys over there don't make that kind of money. They're lying about the money that they make. Has anybody checked to see what Kevin Samuels really makes? So, my thing is, what kills me is that they come out of nowhere with no, they come out of nowhere with no credentials. And because they get a haircut, they wear a suit, they talk some crazy mess, and you think that these guys are where it's at, and they're not. These are, listen, you don't want to be anywhere where these guys are. And you don't want to deal with any kind of dude like this because it's going to make your life miserable. You're going to leave you with a child or two that he's never going to take care of, never going to claim, never going to take responsibility for. He's never going to do right by you because he don't have any respect for you. A man who sits up here and tells a woman, well, treats a woman a certain way because of her dress size. I mean, are you serious? How do y'all sit there and listen to that insanity? That's like if you went to the grocery store and you went in there and you wanted to buy a whole watermelon. And they say, well, you can't buy this watermelon because your dress size is too big. Come in here with a smaller dress size and we'll sell you the watermelon. Doesn't that sound ridiculous to you? And so you're talking about a dude, as soon as you give him your measurements, I don't understand why women are doing this, but I don't know if some of them are doing it to humor themselves or to make themselves look crazy. I have no idea. But what's your height? What's your dress size? How much you weigh? Depending on the way you answer those three questions, will determine if they treat you halfway decent or not. Now they're only going to treat you, but so uh, even when they treat you decent, it's not going to be that much because you have to agree with them. You can't disagree with them in order to be treated like a woman. Well, not well, I wouldn't even say it because they don't know how to treat women like women. They don't have no respect for women. I told you that they're like male feminists. They hate women, right? And so, in order for you to even be talked to in some kind of respectful manner, you have to be agreeing with them. As soon as you disagree, you get called out your name. And I don't understand why y'all can't see this. This happens over and over again. Are people blind or deaf? I mean, you just don't see this. You just don't want to see this. I mean, is it just entertainment? You just like it? You just want to go over there and have some fun and laugh or something? Or you really taking this stuff seriously? I mean, this is an absolute joke. I mean, this is pathetic. I mean, these guys are some pathetic dudes. I mean, to judge a woman because she has a certain dress size or she weighs a certain amount. You see, you know what the problem is? These guys are jealous and they hate women because a woman can pretty much get any man she wants. There is no restrictions on what kind of man you can get. You can be a waitress and end up with a millionaire. Because it's not about what these guys are talking about. These guys don't understand nothing about love. They don't understand anything about how people connect. They don't give a shit about it. They don't know nothing about that. That's why they're telling you some bullshit about, well, wait a minute. These high value dudes, right? You got to be a certain dress size. You got to be a certain this and that. Or they ain't going to make the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. Tell you some old ridiculous shit like that because these guys want you checking for them. And a lot of them hate the women that was in their life at one point, right? They hate the women that they got divorced from or their baby mamas. And this is their way of lashing out at them. This is their way of punishing women because they were weak and they got dealt with like weak men. I've said this before that relationships and marriages are only for strong men. If you are a weak male and you know that you're weak, if you're weak mentally and emotionally, you shouldn't get married, nor should you get into a serious relationship until you get your mind right and get your emotions right. Marriage isn't for the weak. Weak men, weak men aren't fit to be fathers. Weak men aren't fit to be husbands. Weak men aren't fit to be steady boyfriends. Okay? Only strong men are afforded those things because a strong man can handle a marriage. He can handle a family, raising a family. Growing up in the back in the days, strong men raised families, not weak men. You didn't have overly emotional men, the head of household. You didn't have that. And this is why you don't have any head of household now, except for the female, because the male today is just as hot, strong, and emotional as the female. That's why you may as well put the female as head of household now, because the guy today is so weak, it wouldn't be a difference. A lot of these guys are just flat out jealous of women, and it's sad. A lot of these dudes are effeminate. Exactly, Phoenix James. When their point of view is a challenge, they can't handle it. Yeah, well, they don't know how to do that because, again, my problem with this whole situation is that they are influencing the younger generation. And they have the younger generation of black men coming up talking this nonsense that now they effectively keep the black family broken. These guys are anti black. They're also anti black family. They don't want any black families. They want to keep the black family broken because these guys aren't responsible. You have to be responsible to be the head of a black family. These guys aren't responsible. Look at them. They're on child support. They don't even want to take care of their own kids. So these guys are anti-black family. They've sold out. They are assimilating into white culture. That's why they don't think anything's wrong with what's going on out here in the world today with black people. That's why they're sitting up there right now and they're saying things like George Floyd killed himself and that they're siding with the white men because they've assimilated into white culture. So they believe that what's going on out here with black people doesn't apply to them. All right. And so they're not for the black family. So to be with one of these guys is to be anti black and anti black family. Okay. These guys are pro black separation. They want to keep black people divided and at each other's throats. And they want to be able to treat black women the way they want to treat them. They don't want black women to have any rights to say anything. This is what, listen, let me explain something to you. When you watch this guy's show, right, he automatically takes away a black woman's rights to be treated as a black woman, to be treated in a respectful manner, right? First thing he asked her was her dress size, how tall is she, and how much she weighs. If those numbers don't jive with him, that determines the way he treats her. Now, what kind of man is that? What kind of man treats a woman according to her dress size, according to how much she weighs, according to how tall she is? What kind of man is that? A lot of us grow up in households where our mothers or grandmothers may have a few pounds on them. Our fathers still stayed at home. Where would many of us be if our fathers thought the way these guys thought? Would many of us be here? You know, when our fathers met our mothers back in the day and raised those big families, men didn't judge women or talk to women that way. These, you, what these guys are attempting to do is to get black women into a mentality to where she's accepting being abused verbally and mentally and emotionally and accept it as the norm. They want you to accept that it's normal for a man to go out and sleep with whatever woman he wants and you don't have anything to say about it. They want it to be normal for a man to not have to show you any respect as a woman. They want that to be normal. And the more women go over there, the more they spew this stuff, the more some women are going to actually believe that this is the way all black men are. And we're not all like that. We're not all like that. And if you keep listening to these fools, they'll have you believing that it's natural for black men to be unfaithful. It's natural for black men to be irresponsible. It's natural for black men to be unfit fathers. And it's natural for black men to be unfit to be husbands. Hell, it's natural for black men to not be trusted at all. If you keep listening to these fools, and further, if you keep listening, you're going to continue to degrade yourself and keep lowering your standards and keep thinking lower and lower of yourself. Because the more you accept this trash, the lower your standards become and the lower your self-esteem becomes. Because you feel that you don't deserve anything better, that you don't deserve anything better than these guys because they got you thinking that they the best men walking out here And they are what it is. And if they don't want you, nobody will want you. And nothing can be further from the truth. And then they don't wiped out an entire class of black men. The blue collar man, like the blue collar man don't exist. Many of us are here now off of blue collar households. So you throw out the blue collar man who makes the five figures, guys who come home with $900 checks, $800 checks, who make it work, who aren't struggling, and who are raising families. You're gonna tell me that those guys aren't good guys? Those guys, black women should shun those guys. Those hardworking blue collar guys, the guys who drive trucks, the guys who are electricians, the guys who are brick masons. This is the backbone of black society, the blue collar black man. And so you should ignore these guys. You should not talk to these guys. These guys don't deserve your attention because you're wrapped up in these are weak dudes, these overly emotional man girls who do nothing but insult you and talk down to you and try to strip you of your dignity in front of thousands of people and try to embarrass you in front of everybody. Man, I was watching the podcast. He told a woman straight up. She had an opinion. And to cut her off, he said, how tall are you? What's your dress size? And how much do you weigh? This is very disrespectful. You're already walking into a trap answering those questions. Wow, why are you even doing that to yourself? They're making a fool out of you. You are embarrassing yourself by even participating in that nonsense. These are very immature men. Like I said, do not be fooled by the suit and the articulation. These are very immature, very, very immature men. You know, why do you even play those games? Why do you go up there and disrespect yourself like that? I just don't understand it, man. I mean, why are black women even participating in that nonsense? Man can't talk to you unless you a certain height, a certain dress size, and a certain weight. So that's where we are now, to where we don't get to talk to each other anymore as people. A black man is not going to talk to you unless you're wearing a certain dress size. He's not going to talk to you unless you're a certain height. He's not going to talk to you unless you're a certain weight. What kills me is these Beckys that they keep talking about. A lot of them are extremely overweight. I mean, obese. Probably the most obese women in this whole country. And they're not getting the hot ones that they claim that they're getting. And when you look at the ones that they are so proud of taking pictures with, they got these hard jaw lines that look like white men. A lot of them have Beckys that look like white men with long hair. But they say that this is the cream of the crop of the white women. And what kills me, they keep talking about the black woman as masculine, but when you look at the Beckys that they're with, their Beckys look like, Bruce Jenner? They're like white men with long hair. but they say the black woman is masculine. So, but yeah, I wish it wouldn't either, Phoenix Jane. But I guess some black women um are a glutton for punishment. I mean, it's like you walking right into a trap, and the trap says, "Hey, this is a trap," and you walk into it anyway. And you have to understand something. When you play their game by their rules, then they're going to be justified in the way that they treat you because you came over there. They didn't come over there to you. These guys don't even try to defend what they are. They know what they are. They know what they are. They know that they're losers. They know that they're weak. But they also know that there's going to be black women that's going to come and follow them and be mistreated and don't seem to have any problem being mistreated. And I think that's sad. You see, I care about the sisters. I care about the black women. I don't care about none of these Negroes. You know, and I hate to see black women over there getting treated like that. And they're over there for some reason or another. I have no idea why they even bothering going over there. I mean, a man can't even treat you with any kind of dignity or respect. As a matter of fact, he tries to take that away from you. He cuts you down to size by immediately asking you what your height is, what your weight is, and what your dress size is. So if your dress size is 10, right, he ain't gonna talk to you like you some kind of piece of shit, right? If you weigh 200 pounds, he don't talk to you like you a piece of shit. Or if you too tall, if you 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", he don't talk to you like you're a piece of shit. If you 5'10" and your dress size is a 9 or a 10 and you weigh 200 pounds, he don't talk to you like you're a piece of shit. As far as he's concerned, you don't deserve to be talked to or treated like a woman. I mean, this guy is pretty much anti-black and anti-black family. Yeah, exactly. Phoenix Jane. They with these women. If you look at the ones that they call hot white women, right? Now, these women got huge noses and these big old collagen. I mean, they look bad. And you're talking about this. Well, this is the best you can do. This is the the hot Becky. I heard some fool the other day who had just took over becoming a coach of a basketball team. And that fool had the nerve to say he's proud that his wife is white. Man, what is wrong with you? What hey Negroes, what is y'all problem with this white stuff? I mean, you have the most beautiful woman on this earth that you keep neglecting. You keep going after these monstrosities of human uh, monstrosities of bad human experiments. And what it is that a lot of you guys embraced weakness. You embraced it. A lot of you guys were skinny dorks back in the day that women didn't really pay no attention to. You didn't do anything about it. You didn't improve yourself. You know, many of you become like little hermits, little weasels in the background, talking all this big stuff, but you ain't really about what you say you about. I done lived in this world long enough to recognize real niggas from fake niggas. Real niggas don't talk shit. Only these fake ass niggas sit up here and try to sell you some kind of tough guy story. You know, they want you to think that they're tough guys. They talk tough all the time. Yeah, but these guys are soft as tissue paper. They ain't gonna bust a grape. And then they turn around and they talk about me. They get real slick and they just try to take pop shots out of women. This is a listen. One of the signs that you can tell if a guy is gay or heading that way is when he starts talking bad about women. Like for example, he starts talking about how a woman is dressed. Okay, he starts talking about man, look at her dress. It's dirty at the bottom. Wow, look at her shoes, man. Her heels are ran over. How come she didn't do her hair, man? She didn't even do her hair. You see, when guys start paying that kind of attention to you, he's either gay or on his way to being gay. You understand? Because a real man don't give a fuck about none of that. Because we'll just buy you some new shit. We'll send you to the hair salon. We don't give a fuck about none of that. But these gay dudes, they get real meticulous about the way a woman look. Very, very, very. I'm talking about very, very meticulous. Oh, her lipstick ain't on right. She didn't put her makeup on right today. One of her eyelashes is longer than the other. See, only gay dudes pay attention to shit like that. You know, and then they start sitting up here telling jokes about the way you look. And then they try to pass it off like, you know, her man ain't doing what he's supposed to do because Shorty look like this and Shorty look like that. These are gay dudes. Straight dudes don't even get down like that. And my thing is too, you got to look at yourself, sisters, right? I mean, how do you feel about yourself? I mean, you got to feel better about yourself than to be going over there with losers like this. These guys are not the guys you should be chasing after. These guys are the guys you should be running away from. Yeah, 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 exactly, Phoenix Gene. Yeah, when they start talking like that, those are gay dudes. You know, and no heterosexual man pays that much attention to a woman. You know, we don't pay that kind of meticulous attention. If you need a new pair of shoes, hell, we'll buy you a new pair. We don't give a fuck. If your hair look a little crazy, hell, some of us like your hair looking crazy. You know, so we'll just send you to a salon or something. We don't give a fuck about none of that because we're game changers. We can change the game. See, a real nigga can change the game. That's why we don't worry about none of that shit. That's them gay dudes. And then, my whole thing about it too is this here, right? You have this culture. And this is now, make no mistake, this is a part of pimp culture. Because they're treating you like they're treating you like the names that they call you. They call you bees and they call you hoes, right? Well, that's the way they treat you. When you come and talk to a black man, and then before you can even get into a conversation with this brother, he's asking you your dress size. He's asking you how tall you are. He's asking you how much you weigh. Now, ladies, be honest. Take it all the way back as far as you can take it. What heterosexual man you ever been with said some shit like that to you? Think about that. And think about the guys, the type of guys who talk like that, who you've heard talk like that. They've all been gay. I ain't never heard no heterosexual dude talking about, yeah, man, her dress size. We don't even know what the fuck a dress. I don't know nothing about no woman's dress size. I'm 54 years old. I don't know nothing about no woman's dress size, how that shit work. I have no idea. You know why? Because I don't give a damn. I can care less about some shit like that. I don't have no problem addressing a woman the way she is, accepting a woman for who she is, because I'm a mature male. I understand sometimes it's hard to maintain your body depending on what you're doing in life. A few pounds ain't gonna scare no real nigga off. Hell, we used to call women like that thick back in the day. If she was 5'9", weighed like about 200, especially if she have some, especially if she was bow legged. Man, what? We loved it. We called it being thick. Real men love thick women. That's how another thing I can tell you. These guys are weak. You know how many thick women out there with husbands? Like I said, these niggas don't even know what the fuck they talking about. You know how many thick women out there with husbands? You know how many women out there who are over 200 pounds that are married? It's a lot of them. A lot of women over 200 pounds got a higher marriage rate than women under 200 pounds. Did y'all know that? You'll see a lot of dudes out there who are married and their wives are like 200 pounds. When I start doing my towards the end of the year, when I start bringing stuff on camera, right? I'm gonna start showing you motherfuckers couples, right? Married, been married, right? And the woman is 200 pounds, black woman, and the brother's proud, walking around loving on her hard in the motherfucker. We love thick women. Are you fucking kidding me? Black women are sexy thick. And thick black women are extremely sexy. Fuck these niggas talking about. Exactly. Exactly, Phoenix King. Never unless he was exactly. Never unless he was buying you something. Because we don't give a fuck. We don't give a. We're not afraid of no woman with a few extra pounds on her. Ain't no real man afraid of no shit like that. That's these weak Negroes. These effeminate little frail little girly men. You know, and your boy Samuels is a sissy. You know, Exactly, Heavenly. Y'all voluptuous. Oh man, don't even get me started, Heavenly favorite. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Men love voluptuous. Black men love thick women. And don't even get me started on the breastises. Don't. I'm not even gonna do that because the show might take a hard left turn. Are you kidding me? Black women look beautiful and stunning and sexy when they're thick. Fuck y'all. Fuck you niggas talking about. Look at somebody. Listen. Look at a lot of these dudes out here, these stars or whatever. Look at their wives. Their wives are thick, big breastises, big thighs, curvy, thick. As a matter of fact, I hate to say it, but the petite black woman, right? I'm not trying to start none, but the petite black woman is up against it. These thick women, they are gorgeous. Okay, it's the petite woman that looks a little malnutrition sometimes. And I'm not saying that no brothers ain't with all that. I'm just saying, you know, but brothers love a woman with some meat on her, man. Are you kidding me? My father used to call that meat on the bones. What these niggas talking about? These niggas, you see, this is how I know these guys ain't got no girls. Brothers love women with meat on the bones. You kidding me? 5'10". That woman said she was 5'10", 200 pounds. Man, that's meat on the bones, brother. That's not fat. The hell are you talking about? Yeah, brothers love it with the meat on the bones. Are you fucking kidding me? Shit, thick women are in, man. And so, and the thing about it is that, ladies, you ain't never heard no real man talk to you like that. Hey, baby, what's your dress size? What's your weight? Get the fuck out of here. What dude is coming? What dude in real life is coming up to you talking to you like that? Ain't no man in his right mind gonna talk to no woman like that. He'll never get no play. And niggas act like they ain't going after these big beautiful women, these BBWs. The fuck out of here. These niggas got their tongues out for these BBWs. They over here lying to y'all, putting on a facade. Okay, BBW black women get mad play. They get crazy play, niggas. What is y'all talking about? Hell, a lot of them are married more than it. They're probably like the black woman that's married. They got a high marriage rate. Brothers love because black women do everything well. Black women are just beautiful, period. They put on a few pounds and they still look good. They still look, man, they put on a few pounds, they look sexier. So what you niggas is talking about? Y'all talking crazy right now. How many BBWs out here with husbands? Hell, the block I live on, half the women on here are BBWs and they all married. Fuck are you talking about, man? Class issue. Man, look. That's that European white BS. Black people got their own style of living, and we need to focus on ourselves and stop trying to follow what the fuck white people are doing. Let them have their class systems and shit. I know what my eyes tell me, and I travel all over this country of ours. And just about everywhere I go where black people are, I see a lot of BBW sisters with men, with husbands. And a lot of them get good husbands. They get motherfuckers who are faithful. Niggas who ain't going nowhere. Hell, you kidding me? Motherfucker got a pair of, heavy heaving breastises? Shit. And he can lay in bed next to them heaving breastises every night? Are you kidding me? A lot of brothers are breast men. All right? Most brothers are breast men. It's all about the breastises. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like the first thing that sticks out with a female, right? And if she's sick and got them big monster breastises, the ones that are really like shapely and she's got that nigga, what? They got that cleavage and shit. Them motherfuckers sitting up there looking like mini basketballs. Man, you got it fucked up. You got her fucked up. She getting a man. Okay, she getting a man. I mean, she gonna get you too, nigga. If you sitting up there lying and shit, you know what I'm saying? You real about it. These niggas talk all this shit, right? Let a thick woman with them breasts walk through that whole manosphere. Every last one of the motherfuckers that had their tongue out. Every last one of them. They pop all this fake shit on social media, right? Let it happen in real life and see what happens. I guarantee you the motherfuckers will be on it. And then look at the type of niggas who was talking this crazy shit, right? You got one motherfucker that looked like a fucking a goddamn penguin with a goddamn a Herman monster boot on one foot. You got some dude who seemed to be dressed in tight clothing that resembles women apparel. You got some dude who calls himself a dating coach wearing makeup. I keep telling y'all about these pimps. A lot of these pimps are gay. Look at the way they dress. I keep trying to tell people that pimps, they mock women. They are a mockery to women. They make fun of women by the way they dress. Exactly. Yeah, a lot of brothers appreciate big breasts. You fucking kidding me, man? These motherfuckers act like they don't like women who are thick and voluptuous. Man, y'all got it, but these niggas crazy. Well, Renaissance man, I know a lot of professional black men. I know a lot of professional black men. All right, I'm a business owner. Okay, and I haven't seen any of these standards that you're talking about. What standards? Because the brothers that I know go after the same type of women I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, a lot of these big, these professional black men are married to voluptuous women. So I don't know what the standards you're talking. I don't know what standards we're talking about. Okay. Like I said, voluptuous black women, a lot of them are married. They don't have trouble getting men. The thick black woman with the breasts, the voluptuous, sexy, thick black woman, right? Is probably the most desired by black men amongst black women. And she don't have no problem getting a man. No problem. I ain't never seen one with no issue getting no man. Now, there's a difference between being thick and voluptuous and sexy than being obese and morbidly obese. Those are different things. Those are health issues. But we're not talking about women with health issues. Okay? A thick woman with a few extra pounds on her is not a woman, that's in bad health. Black women wear their weight very well. And my thing is, if you see a sister that's morbidly obese or something like that, then help her. You care about her, you love her as a black woman, then help her. That's what I do. I help sisters who are having issues with their weight. I help them lose weight. I have a challenge coming up that I call the 1 o'clock challenge that we're going to be doing here. Let me see, April. We're going to start it back up in June. It's going to be modified a little bit, right? And it's designed to help sisters who are having trouble losing weight, to help them lose weight easily. We just did it not too long ago. We did a test run a couple of months ago, and we had some success. We had some sisters who lost some weight. So instead of contributing to, ridiculing our sisters, help them. You have the ability to help them. That's what I do. I don't sit up here and berate them and put them down. I understand that some of them are having issues. Losing weight doesn't mean that we turn our back on them or we say, well, you know what, they ain't worth our time because they fat. They fat bees. It's not how you treat our sisters. You don't treat our sisters like that. Maybe other races of men treat their women like that, but that's not the way we should treat our women as black men. Our women look up to us. Well, they used to. I don't know what the hell they're looking up to now because these old whack ass, weak, pathetic Negroes out here ain't nothing to look up to. But we are supposed to provide solutions. We are supposed to provide answers. We are supposed to solve problems as black men. So we have a situation where our sisters are overweight, then we help them. We take them by the hand and we help them. Why we take them by the hand every step of the way? Because they're women. They're not like us. They're different. They're sensitive. So we take them by the hand and we walk them through it step by step. I don't see a problem with that. I love coaching. I love coaching women to losing weight. That's one of the things that I'm proud of. And a lot of them think that they can't lose weight because they've been fed bad information about their bodies. And they believe that it's hard for them to lose weight when it really isn't. It's very easy for them to lose weight once they have the right knowledge. So you want more sexy black women out there, then help create them. Let's start working on our sisters who have the health issues. Let's start getting them rounded into shape. Let's start helping them. We don't throw them away. We don't turn our backs on them. And I'm gonna tell you something right now, right? Y'all really, you guys are really playing with fire, okay? Because you really don't want to get into that kind of thing with black women because pretty much they have the upper hand. They are the ones with the vagina. You don't have a vagina. They really got the upper hand. You really don't want to get into that with them because a lot of us brothers ain't up to par either. I'm not gonna say myself. I'm just saying a lot of you niggas ain't up to par either. A lot of you niggas look like garbage cans running around here. Big ass pot bellies and shit. I saw one motherfucker the other day. The goddamn beard was all fucking uneven and shit, looking crazy as hell. How you think you niggas look to them? Some of you niggas got bad breath. You don't even brush your goddamn teeth, and you're in a woman's face talking crazy, blowing her goddamn mascara off and shit. Some of you motherfuckers, your breath so goddamn bad, you know, you can't even talk. You can't even talk to a woman. You can't even talk to a woman outside when it's hot. You might fucking set her goddamn face on fire. A lot of you niggas got missing teeth and shit, got all this shit in your mouth. A lot of y'all look like fucked. A lot of y'all look like fucking goddamn garbage bag, trash bags and shit. So y'all really don't want to play that game, yo. So I'm gonna tell you right now, she can get more men than you can get women. A lot of these niggas be out here and shit walking around with motherfucking old ass boots. They got holes in the bottom to the point where you got cardboard down there and shit, covering up the holes. Niggas walking around here with high water pants and shit. Got them hanging off your ass talking about you styling. Looking crazy as fuck. Niggas can't even walk. Y'all can't even walk right. Niggas got tight ass high water. How the fuck you walk around with tight ass high water pants that are like high water and half off your ass? What the fuck do you think that looks like? What do you think women? What do you think black women are saying when they see you walking around like that? You got a pair of tight ass high water pants, tight, half off your ass and half off your ass, right? And then showing that, and your damn shins are showing. Fuck you think that look like to them? And then you walking around here, you can't even walk straight like a fucking normal human being and shit, right? You walking with your legs out to the side and shit, like you just took it up the ass. You don't think black women see that? You don't think they be talking about that? What if they start doing podcasts, right? Cracking on the way you motherfuckers dress and the way y'all look. I don't think you want to really get into that because you're not going to win that. Exactly, Bell. You know, a lot of our sisters went through a lot. That's why I say we help them. We don't. They already listen. Our sisters who are having these weight issues, right? They already probably went through some trauma. They're probably hurt. They probably feel that nobody cares about them. And this is where, as a black man, this is where you earn your hero status, brothers. This is where you fly into the rescue. Many of us have vast knowledge on health and how to lose weight because many of us used to be athletes. We worked out and stuff like that, right? This is a chance for you to be a hero. Help this woman, man. Don't hurt her further. Don't berate her. Help her. I know, but you see what I'm talking about, right, Bell? Motherfuckers walking around like they just took it up the ass. They got a pair of the skinny ass, tight ass high water pants on that's showing half of their ass and then showing damn near their whole shins. And can't even fucking walk like a man. You walking around like you just got finished getting bent over. You got nerve to be called. You got nerve to be talking about some woman's dress size and her height and weight. Nigga walking around here with some goddamn tight ass high water pants and a motherfucking wrinkled ass windbreaker. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something now. Look, let me break the news to you brothers, okay? You manosphere dudes, you SYSBMs, and all your sympathizers and stuff like that. Um, there is no competing with the black one. You can't compete with her. So all this shit you trying to do now to try to disparage her, talk down to her, call yourself high value when you really nothing but a loser. You know, you try to call out of her name, all that shit. That shit ain't working. You can't compete with her. Y'all trying to compete with her. Are you crazy? You can't compete with no woman, nigga. You a man. Are you niggas nuts? You ain't gonna never compete with no vagina, nigga. Is you crazy? You ain't gonna never win that. The vagina is undefeated and is undisputed. It is the undisputed champion, grand champion. There is no defeating it. I don't care how big you think you are, how large or what size you think you are. There is no defeating the vagina, my nigga. It will win every time. I don't care how big you are. It will conquer all sizes. It will conquer all sizes. It will conquer all kinds of men, weak and the strong alike. There's no defeating it. You can't compete with it. Are you nuts? Out here trying to compete with a woman and you a man. Your mind is already fucked. Or your mind is screwed up. Be a man. That's what you need to be doing. Focusing on being a man rather than trying to compete with a woman, something you just simply cannot do. You ain't gonna never defeat a woman in that capacity. She's gonna always win over you because she's a female. And men are attracted to women. Women don't have to come up to men and even introduce themselves if they don't want to. They can just sit somewhere and have a drink, mind their own business, and the man is gonna come up to them. They got it like that, nigga. Don't hate. That's out of your league. They on a whole nother level, brother. That's just the way it is. Men are attracted to them, and you ain't gonna never stop that. Men are gonna always be attracted to women. Even the ones you think are unattractive, there are men attracted to them too. You're gonna have a sister walking around here with one eye and got three teethuses in her mouth. One eye and three teethuses. I guarantee you she's gonna have at least 3 or 4 boyfriends. And some of them might have 4 or 5 teethuses in their mouth. But she gonna get a man. I guarantee you. You necessarily can't get that. You may have to do some work. You see, because what y'all hate about the black women that she can do and you can't do, she has the option. She has the real option. You want to talk about options? She has the real option of not wanting to be with you and won't suffer for it. You, on the other hand, you can't play that same game. See, because if you all beat down and fucked up, you're going to have to do some shit. Now, I'm not saying you can't find some old crackhead down there. You know what I'm saying? Some woman that's out of her mind. But if you got your grill missing, that's a big turnoff for a lot. A lot of women will not. Yo, you can be looking cool as shit, right? Got your suit on and shit, Stacey Adams and shit. Looking like the Godfather walking around this motherfucking your pinstripe suit. Man, you get to talking and you ain't got no grill in your mouth. You done with most women. You done. You straight done. And women don't have to have no remorse for turning you down because another man is going to be waiting. Another man is chasing. Women are always being chased by men, always being pursued by men. So she ain't gonna have to have she ain't got to have no remorse for rejecting you. You, on the other hand, don't have that luxury. And that's what a lot of you got a problem with. Y'all just mad at the black woman because she got it like that and you don't. And you mad and you jealous because she got it like that. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all just mad. Instead of you punk ass niggas improving yourself and becoming stronger men, you know, and gentlemen who are appealing to women, you want to turn yourselves into girly men and become a thorn in their side. You know, and then turn into some kind of, you know, some kind of sellout. So you guys become verbally abusive to women. You can't put your hands on them because you're too weak. Some of them might turn around and whoop one of y'all asses, like Edward Anderson. Okay, I bet you women are probably, whenever they hear him talk, I bet you women are saying, "I wish this motherfucker would try to step to me. I will whoop his little punk ass." Can't you just hear women saying every time Edward Anderson talk, Can't you just hear women say, man, I'll whoop his ass? That nigga sound like a lesbian. I can just hear women thinking, man, I will whoop his punk ass. Some of y'all so weak you get your ass whooped by women. And what are y'all gonna understand? This is very, 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 very basic shit. This is very rudimentary, okay? Women aren't attracted to weak men. If they feel that they can whoop your ass, I don't think they're going to be attracted to you. Now, you can ask a few of them, but I don't think they're going to be attracted to a man who they feel they can kick his ass. Let's just face it, some of y'all are on it like that, right? You're very frail, you're very weak. You're walking around here in your little $2 blazer that you got off some kind of, that you took off a fucking, a pile of fucking old ass blazers that somebody donated to the fucking Salvation Army. Walking around here in your little $2 blazer, your corduroys in the summertime, your platform shoes, your ruffled shirt. Walking around here looking like the planet's peanut man. Thinking you the shit. And when a woman looks at you, she see a punk ass. She don't see no real strong masculine. See, a lot of you motherfuckers really take your masculinity away or your manliness away just by the way you dress. And y'all don't even realize that. Women are watching you. Women are looking. You think they're not looking? How could they miss you? A lot of y'all take your manliness away just by the way you dress, walking around here with this super tight shit on. Can't even take a full step like a grown ass man. You're taking little baby steps like you're afraid that the crack of your pants is going to split because your pants are too tight. You got your butt cheeks clenched in so you can breathe because your damn pants are too tight. You got high water pants on and a blazer that's too short. You got a blazer that comes to the middle of your back. You walking around here like that, looking like a damn fool, and you expect a woman to see masculinity. Wearing flower covered shit. You want a woman to see you as a big, strong man. You walking around here with fucking, shirts on that got flower patterns in it and shit. Pink shoes. Jeans with like 95 zippers in them and shit. Wearing, what do you call them? Man purses. And then the purses be bright colors and shit like lime green. Some old soft shit.
Who brought the
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, not saying one gender is better than other. He's just saying that um, men shouldn't be trying to compete with women in their at all. We're not supposed to be competing against each other. And then the men that are trying to compete with women are trying to compete with women in their domain. With women, which comes naturally to women, they trying to compete to get that. If you listen to them, they're talking about um, the stuff that happens for women. Women could just be there, and men approach them. Men are chased after women, or men do things to show they're interested in a woman. They want that
Well,
for
let
themselves.
me I'm back. Well, let me address the better half part. You see, back in the day, the reason why a lot of brothers called the sisters their better half because women represented everything positive back then about life. Okay, they brought life into this world. They kept you out of trouble. They wanted you to be well mannered. They wanted you to be a gentleman. So they represented positive things about life. Okay, even when you was taught by your mother, she taught you nothing but positive things. She taught you how to be a gentleman, how to talk to people, how to respect people, right? And when you generally thought about a woman back then, you always associated good things. Now, there was the saying that men are made of, or boys are made of the frogs and toads and puppy dog tails or some shit like that. And then the girls are made of sugar and spice and everything nice, right? Well, the sugar and spice and everything nice isn't far fetched because in reality, women were very positive about life. They represented the good part of life, while men were not necessarily representing the bad part of life, but frequently indulged in the bad things in life and perpetuated a lot of bad things in life. Okay, that's not something that was normal for women. It was always the opposite. So that's why men always referred to women as their better half because they represented the better part of life. Okay, and it was always where you got your positive influence from. Growing up, whenever you was in a situation, if your father wasn't there, your mother was always there to give you a positive outlook on life. See, she always represented something good. I mentioned several times back in the days when I was growing up, it was all about being hugged up with your girl. Because if you was at your girl house and you was with your girl, then guess what you wasn't doing? You wasn't in the street getting in trouble. You wasn't in the street fighting. So a girl always represented something good. It represented a good part of life. That's why men refer to women as their better half. Now always, and then also they bring beautiful children into this world. When a man sees his seed come into this world, and those beautiful lives on that child melts his heart. This is something beautiful that the woman has given to him that she has brought into this world. So this is another reason why they always refer to women as their better half. And still do. I'm sorry. So did I? Okay, and so that's where that comes from. And if you want to say that men are the better half, right? Then you have to prove that. You have to prove that, and that's something you can't prove today. Men aren't the better half. Men flat out are the worst half today. If you don't believe me, take a look at the manosphere. Take a look at the SYSBM. Take a look at the red pill guys. Take a look at the conscious community. That's the worst half of life. That's what men are representing now. Black men are representing now. You got the manosphere right now siding with a white man who brutally murdered a black man in front of the whole world. They represent the bad part of life right now. So you can't even say that the black man is representing the better half right now. Okay, and so that's why men said black women were the better half. A man always refers to his woman as the better half. We know how we are. We're men. We're built for conflict. We're always fighting. We're always, rambling about, tearing shit up. We try to do good for the most part, right? But sometimes we slip into that street. We want to knock somebody the fuck out. That's how we get down. It's in our nature to fight. It's in our nature to be destructive. But it doesn't mean that we're bad people. You understand what I'm saying? Women are the opposite. They are the antithesis of that. That's why we say that they are our better half. And wait a minute, why am I explaining? I've never had to explain that before. That should be self-explanatory. What made me explain it? Did I see a question in here? Dame?
All right. I think somebody was stating that that's why women are referred to as the better half.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot. This
No need for
this
detail.
generation. Well,
Uh-huh.
I forgot. This generation of dudes ain't shit. So yeah, you gotta explain. You gotta explain things over again. Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay. Okay, I see what
okay.
it was. It was bro speak. While I don't agree with the better half part, I agree that competing with women is pointless. Those guys' best bet is focusing on themselves.
But see, my thing is, if you don't agree with the better half part today, then that is your own fault. You see, we have to understand something, right? When you look at the behavior of the women today, it's indicative of the failed leadership in the community. Because when you allow your environment to become corrupted, corruption breeds all kinds of terrible behavior. Corruption does not breed good behavior. It does not breed good manners. See, I can tie all that back to us failing in our duties as black men. See, because when I was growing up in the environment that was controlled by the men, the women had a different attitude. And also, they had standards. And check this out. You know who helped set the standards, the high standards for black women back then? It was the men. Because the men did not want their daughters played out, they did not want their daughters abused. They were very protective of their daughters. So they taught their daughters high standards. And the girls have very high standards. I told you, I remember you couldn't even talk to a girl unless you were in school. If you weren't, if you was if you were truant, they wouldn't give you the time of day. If you couldn't put a sentence together, they wouldn't even waste time talking to you. They had high standards, and a lot of those high standards were instilled into them by their fathers because their fathers did not want their daughters with bum ass dudes. Today, you dudes don't have any standards because you guys are incapable of carrying a family. You guys are too weak today. You're unfit to be husbands and you're unfit to be fathers. And you cannot carry a family. That's why the women, right, are the way they are because you're not man enough or strong enough to set any standards in your environment. You've allowed your environment to lay in ruins and become corrupted. Therefore, the women in that environment have become corrupted as well. And so, if there's no better half, that is of your own creation. The person you should be upset with is the one that looks you back in the mirror. You know, it's really bad when you go look in the mirror and your reflection, right, turns its back on you. Your own reflection is too embarrassed to look at you. I agree with you 100%. You do have to, and this is why I have such a big problem with the manosphere because they are an influence on our young boys. And you have young boys now who don't even bother learning how to be gentlemen. They don't know how to talk to women. You don't believe me? Ask the women in here. They'll tell you how these young boys sound. You don't go up to a woman and start calling her hoes and bees and expect her to treat you with some kind of respect. You've given her. You don't even have any respect for yourself. See, as a man, I have integrity and respect for myself. So I wouldn't talk to a woman that way because I respect myself. I respect myself. I care about the way I sound. I care about the way people see me, especially a woman. When a woman sees me, I want her to see a gentleman. I want her to see a man that got his head screwed on straight. I want her to see a man that's in control, a man that has self control, a man that has integrity. That's what I want a woman to see. I don't want a woman to see a bum, a derelict, somebody who can't even do something that's basic as say, hello, how are you? Somebody that can't even do something as simple as not using the B word every 2 words or using the word hoe every 3 words. Bees and hoes. Man, I hear some of these guys talking. I don't even know what they're saying anymore. All I hear is bees and hoes. Yeah, man, that bee this, man, that hoe this. Shorty is a bee. Yo, man, that bee this, that bee that. Man, what y'all niggas talking about? And who are you talking to like that? And who do you expect to attract when you talking like that? Y'all some dumbass Negroes. Y'all can't even speak to a woman properly. You can't even address a woman properly. You don't even have a conversation for a woman. Yeah, shorty, yo, you a mean bee. You a fine bee. You a fine hoe. That's not a conversation for a woman. That's not how you talk to a woman. And like I said, she don't have to accept that kind of nonsense from you. And you're upset that she can get away with that and you can't because she's a woman. And you can get mad all you want. It's never going to change. You're never going to replace her. You need to cut it out. You can't compete with her. You need to stop all that too. What you Negroes need to do is work and focus on yourselves. Work and focus on being good, strong men, and you will attract a lady. You will attract a lady. You think a woman can't see a man come? A woman can see a man come. She can smell a good man coming. She can also smell a bum too. You can see a bum a mile away too. A lot of y'all, man, listen, a lot of y'all, let's get back to the dress thing before we move on to something else. A lot of y'all cancel yourselves just the way you dress. A lot of y'all don't even know how to dress like a man. You dress like some confused alphabet person. Because we can't say certain things, so we're going to say alphabet people. You're all mixed up, running around here with your hair dyed, got red hair. Don't you understand that that's a female thing? Women dye their hair. Men don't run around here dyeing their hair, putting different colors in their hair, walking around here with your hair looking like a bouquet of flowers. Something manly about that. That's all feminine stuff. Women do stuff like that. They dye their hair. They put things in their hair. That's what women do. Y'all out here trying to do what women do. You cancel yourselves just by the way you dress and look. And we're not even talking about getting to the conversation part. Y'all are already canceled just by the way y'all dress. You don't even dress like men. So a woman sees some old clown walking up to her with these high water tight pants hanging off your butt, calves, your shins are showing. And you got the nerve to have on some Timbs or some sneakers, looking like a damn fool. And you think a woman is going to respect that? As you think she's going to look at you as a man, a manly man who can take care of a family? That's not what she's seeing. She's not seeing that. At best, she sees a clown. That's at best. So a lot of y'all just cancel yourself just by the way y'all dress. And you following guys like Kevin Samuels who got you wearing all this soft shit. Pretty soon he gonna have y'all wearing dresses. Sitting up here doing lives. Y'all gonna be doing live streams in dresses. Up there trying to outdo a woman. I'm waiting for that to happen. Y'all gonna start doing live streams wearing dresses. May as well. I don't know what you're waiting for. Go on and do it. It's what you want to do anyway. Many of y'all think that y'all better than women. I mean, that's problematic in itself. You don't even realize that there's something mentally wrong with you. Now, I was talking to Information Man about the other day. Shout out to Information Man about mental health. A lot of y'all don't even realize that you're mentally screwed up. You need help. You need therapy. Thinking you can compete with a female. Pretty soon, y'all going to be doing live streams. Y'all going to be wearing dresses. I'm not going to be surprised because I see it coming. You may as well. I don't know what y'all waiting for. I don't think a lot of people are going to be surprised. I mean, honestly, if the manosphere started doing live streams and they started wearing dresses, honestly, would anybody really be surprised? There may be a few of y'all that might go, wow. I don't think, I really don't think many of us would be surprised. I know I wouldn't. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to the GOAT. Taz. What up, Taz? Hey, Taz, honestly, man, if they start doing live streams and dresses, would you be shocked? I know I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. I'd be anticipating it. May as well. I don't think a whole lot of people would be shocked. Y'all may as well come on out and do it. Stop bullshitting around. You notice what you want to do anyway. You think you're better than women any your way. Well, hell, fuck it. Just go on and just put your dresses on and start doing your live streams. I really don't think a lot of people are going to be shocked. You may have a few that may be gawking or something like that, but they're probably new people to YouTube. Us seasoned people who've been around for a while, they've been watching you dudes. I don't think any of us would be shocked. I know I wouldn't be. And so, like I said, a lot of you dudes cancel yourselves just by the way you dress, man. And then your conversation is terrible, it's bad. You can't talk to a woman to save your life, man. Every other word is be, every other word is ho. That's not the way you talk to a woman. And the sad part about it is nobody is teaching you that. They're actually teaching you to continue to speak the way you're speaking. Because they got you thinking that if you this so-called high-value male who makes six figures, you have a right to get any female you want, and that just simply isn't reality. They got you thinking that black women are dumb, and they're not. They got you thinking that all black women don't have any standards, and you can be whatever you want to be, and you're trying to force black women to accept black men being unfaithful as a norm. And that's really what this is all about, ladies. They want you to accept them being unfaithful as a normal way of life. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want to be able to. And notice something, right? With them, you have to always compete. And so if you're with one of these so-called high value ducks, you will always compete with younger women. You're gonna always compete. They're gonna always looking to better deal you with a younger woman. If you notice, a lot of young women come on those shows. A lot of women who are misguided, don't know much about life, and they done found these guys, and they get caught up in that nonsense. Like I said to you before, think about all of the heterosexual men that's been in your life, right? When have you ever heard any of them talk to you like that? What's your dress size? How tall are you? How much you weigh? So man, we don't even get down like that. Okay. Oh, Phoenix, hey, please show the cleavage. Not interested in no butt cracks. Definitely want the cleavage over butt cracks. Okay. And again, like I said before, a lot of these voluptuous, sick black women, a lot of them are married. A lot of them have husbands. A lot of them. Hell, they probably got more husbands than any. They're probably the most married amongst black women. A lot of them got kids. They got husbands. So these niggas don't know what they're talking about. And the same woman that he's talking about, oh, well, ain't nobody checking for you because you 5'10", you 200 pounds and stuff like that. I guarantee you off camera, she come walking through there with breasts bouncing. Those niggas are on it. They on it. You ever see some of these 5'10", 5'9" women who are 200 pounds? Have you ever seen some of them? With the breasts all over the place? Looking sexy? See, they got you thinking everything is fat. See? They got you thinking because, well, she's 5'10", she's 200 pounds, she must be fat. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Polygamy. these dudes can't. These dudes can't get one woman. What do you mean polygamy? Honestly, you think Edward Anderson can handle polygamy? Unless, no. Polygamy. These guys can't get. These guys can't keep one woman. These guys are failures with one woman. Polygamy. That's why they are investing in the white community. Getting all of these white women with these hard jawlines that look like uh, caddies on golf courses, looking like the old man that owns the ice cream parlor, looking like one of them old Italian geezers that own a pizza parlor. Okay, so Dane, let me see if my co-host is still
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
All right, I'm at the end of my rant. You want to throw the link out? Throw the link out in the chat.
Okay.
All right, everybody, I'm about to drop the link. Anybody want to come on up and kick it? I'm at the end of my rant there. Let me see. Yeah, no doubt. That's what the whole high value thing is about. Not having any responsibility. These guys are irresponsible. Again, I said that these guys are unfit to be men. They're unfit to be husbands. They're unfit to be fathers. I don't know any of them with a successful relationship. And I don't consider being in a relationship with a Becky that looked like uh, so Dane, give me your take on everything.
Well, he's trying to push another agenda that not only should women just go for these so-called high-value males, by their definition, that they should be prepared and accept that these men are going to cheat on them, and that it's okay that these men earn the right to cheat because of their so-called high value.
I agree with that, Bell. Exactly. Stop treating out boys like they know how to be. You see, the problem is again, this is why these guys are so dangerous to young black males because you have a lot of black males today, especially the younger ones, don't have fathers in the home, right? And so they listen to guys like this. They're searching for fathers. So they listen to guys like this. This is the kind of tutelage that they're getting from these guys. Some of this stuff is turning these young boys into murderers. Me and Dane was talking about that in the back chat. Go ahead, Dane.
Where you putting yourself? Hold on.
Okay, apparently Dame is occupied.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I think that's what it's progressing to because these boys are going on to YouTube to understand how to treat women, how to deal with women, how a relationship with a woman is, and they've been told a bunch of bull by these dudes. And then when it doesn't go the way they expected, or the girl has had enough with it, they get emotional because it's not supposed to happen that way. She's supposed to fall at my feet. She's supposed to be grateful. She's supposed to be this and that. They see that she don't respect me, um, and then they get all emotional. They can't handle it, and then next thing you know, if I can't have her, nobody will, and they killing her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, and all they got is YouTube, TikTok, the TVs, which never shows really how a relationship is. They They can't see in their own lives because their environment is dysfunction. They hear stories about it, but they don't see it. So as far as they're concerned, stuff like that is a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all that being real comes in. Because they
Mm-hmm.
what Max talks about and stuff like that. Since enough of them don't see it in their day to day lives, they see it as a fairy tale and it's not being real.
My thing is, I'm wondering what makes them think that what these guys are talking about is real. These guys just totally wiped out the blue collar guys. Like the blue collar guys don't matter. You fucking kidding me? A lot of us grew up in blue collar households. A lot of us were raised in blue collar households. Now all of a sudden, it's all about this so called high value 6 figure dude. That's the only guy that black women should be interested in. When many of us were brought up and raised in blue collar households, our fathers were hard working blue collar men who took care. I'm talking about large families, and some of them, even today, are still taking care of good sized families. Guys who make 900 a week, $1,000 a week. Raising families. So we just turn our back on the blue collar guy, and all of a sudden, it's about this fictional high value 6 figure dude. What's up, bro? Speak.
Hey, what's up, Max?
What's
Dane,
going
how
on? What's
y'all
going
doing?
on?
Hey, bro, speak.
You good?
Hey, Miss Ebony, how you doing, man?
I'm good, and you?
I'm all right. Trying to stay in the best of health. My doctor getting on me, so
Hmm.
I gotta be on. I gotta be on my best behavior diet wise now.
Hmm.
So yeah, but
So,
I do want to. Can I address something that
sure,
and
go ahead.
Bell's trying to think that I'm trying to say that these kids are dumb or something. I'm not trying to say that. You got to look at the situation we have now. You're thinking, Pat, before the 60s, 70s, maybe a little early 80s, but I'm
Hmm.
thinking late 80s, 90s, 2000s. I'm thinking about then. That whole thing about the woman is the better half. A lot of younger men are not going to understand that because they're going to take that the wrong way, and then it's going to lead in two things. Either they're going to paralyze the wrong woman, and to the point where you're downing yourself and making this woman more important than himself, or he's going to have so much resentment because people keep saying that this woman is the better half. And he's thinking, well,
Hmm.
what about me? And then that's where you have this whole jealousy coming into play.
Okay,
So
let me ask you a question.
yeah,
Okay, so find me a guy. Now, probably you might find these manosphere people like this because they're mixed up, but I don't know any real man that's out here just living for himself. Because the whole purpose of a man, right, is to be with a woman and procreate. So I don't know any men that are out here just living for themselves. So that should tell you right there that the other half, the better half, is the female. Because that's pretty much what the man is living for. I said this before, right? If you take away women, then everything in life loses its value. I don't care how much resources you have. You can have a mountain full of gold. Without women, that mountain full of gold will mean absolutely nothing.
yeah. What I'm not saying that it's not women are not important,
Yep.
but in the environment that we have right now,
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of these boys have look These guys that have low self-esteem. They they don't have that father figure that they have to teach them to have balance. When you put it out there that the your women are your better half without somebody to guide them, look, okay, they're your better half, but you got to be able to be that better person. They're going to look to them for, for that better part of themselves instead of looking within, because you have to have that balance. And I'm not trying to say that these boys are dumb. I'm saying the environment that we have out here, where you got so many images of women and not in the best light, teaching that now without giving them a little context of what that means is it's a bad idea. I think
All right.
Okay, I'm up here now. Can y'all hear me? I'm up here now.
Yes.
And I'm
Hey, Bell.
sorry. I'm gonna have to call bullshit on everything you just said. Sorry. First of all, in order to explain what the term better half means, you got to know what it means yourself.
Mhm.
And you got to be able to explain it properly. Nobody's talking about this woman is better than you. She's improving your life. That's not necessarily what it means. Historically, that meant the other half of your soul. That means when you become an adult and you get with this person, they make you feel complete. They calm you down when you mad. They do things for you to improve your life, make you better. That's why people say a better half. Okay, that's why men traditionally said that. That's what it's always meant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can explain that to a boy. Nobody's talking about a teacher in the school. We're talking about like at home. There's boys that have dads at home and they still don't give them these kind of ideas. Hey, that would show them early on that they need to show respect for girls and women, because someday this woman is going, maybe your better half, maybe that person that you feel like you need and is going to complete you. Okay, it's nothing saying that all these women are better than you or they make your life better. That's not what we're saying. Max kind of explained it a little bit earlier. We're talking about from an early age, teaching young boys this. Okay, all studies show, probably every study, pretty much anything you learn before the age of 7 pretty much sticks with you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now when they start learning this and this is what they're constantly fed and they're explained, this is what that means, they will understand that. They will comprehend that. I'm sick of hearing people saying, oh, well, they won't understand that. You're saying grown men my age won't understand that. How could they not understand such a simple concept? You have to be remedial. We're not going by these stereotypical narratives of these white supremacists saying that black people have lower IQs and all that crap, are we? We can't be. These guys can comprehend this if it's explained in the proper manner. Give them good analogies, good examples. That's a cop-out to me. That's really a cop-out. They need to be learning this from early on. And the girls likewise need to be learning the same thing. These are your counterparts. When y'all get together, y'all make each other whole. That's what the relationships like this are supposed to do. That's what your relationships are supposed to do. You're not supposed to be, I'm greater than that person, I'm greater than this person. No, we each have our roles. We're good apart, but we're even better together. That's what I'm talking about. Nobody's talking about explaining to grown-ass men that should know this already. I mean, are we talking about these people just don't understand such a simple concept? This comes from the original Latin term meaning that the other half of my soul. My better half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
I just don't understand. What's to comprehend? What's so hard to understand?
Are you talking about
simple.
in the past or you talking about now?
That's what it's always meant. That's what it's always meant.
Well, y'all making it seem. Have you seen society now? How they're showing women now?
Yes.
Okay.
But you don't teach
so
them,
if you're telling me
women
you're
that are
going to
out here
tell a guy
these are women that are out here doing crazy stuff. You're not going to be explaining that to a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old early on, showing them a YouTube video. That's not how you would explain that to them. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's
and
ridiculous.
I'm about to say, a lot of that stuff is on
You
YouTube. They have an agenda.
I
That's
you
an
would be a
agenda.
parent. You would be a parent explaining that and laying out what that means
I
to them.
I get what you're saying, Bell, but here's the thing: how many people had intact families? You're making that you're making this seem like all these boys are coming from intact homes where there's a father and a mother, and they're explaining it. That's what I'm
I'm
not
not
saying.
making it like
We don't
anything.
have that
I'm
now.
not making it like anything, okay? I'm saying there are those that
Well,
do
you're
have
trying.
those parents there, and then you're saying that you're a teacher or educator or whatever. If you have young boys, you should be able to effectively explain that concept to that little boy. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. Why can't you not?
I agree. And then also, again, right, when you look at the way they're showing women, the media is behind that as well. And in our communities, you don't see a lot of black women acting like that. You may see maybe on the outskirts of the hood, you may see a couple of girls acting crazy with some dudes who are acting crazy, but they're following the dudes. They're not just out there acting like that on their own. The guys are giving them a reason to act like that.
Well,
I,
regardless of that,
I,
that's neither here nor there. I'm talking
Hmm.
about the fact that a grown man should be able to explain that concept to a little boy effectively. And
Agreed.
just like Phoenix Jean is saying that you're saying that these guys are knuckleheads and they have a baby boy mindset, but I think that's discrediting them. That's saying that they're not intelligent. That's
I'm
exactly
not
what I'm
trying.
saying.
I'm
They're
not trying to
knuckleheads.
say.
They won't understand. Yes,
I,
they will if it's explained to them properly. They will understand.
I'm
And
not.
then and then check this out. Look who's helping the media out too, right? You have black men who are joining in on what the media is trying to portray black women as.
Where there's women and men doing it. But that's
Hmm.
does not negate the fact that any adult with any kind of semblance of intelligence should be able to explain such simple concepts. And I'm sick of hearing people say, oh, they don't understand this, they don't understand that. We're treating our kids like they are less than mentally. We always are taught to talk to our kids like they're adults, explain things to them in ways they will get it. If a lot of times, if they don't understand the word you said, they might not say that now, but they'll look it up. Talk to our kids like they are intelligent, and they will act more intelligent and strive to be more intelligent. Quit saying they don't understand. They do understand. And a lot of this stuff is willful ignorance with the older people. They don't want to understand. They're already set in their ways. They don't want to grasp anything new. They are afraid of change and all of that. Or it just helps them further their narrative that they've been, espousing all these years. That's what that's all about. That's
And
all.
then
And
on,
I wanted to explain myself and come up here and say that because I didn't want to be typing in the chat. My damn phone kept changing words to other stuff. So I'm going to get off, but I just wanted to clarify myself on that. I'm saying quit treating these dudes, grown men and young men, like they're not comprehending. If they're not comprehending, they don't want to comprehend. If it's explained properly to them, especially children, they learn. You know how kids copy stuff and you say, oh, quit being grown. You know they heard that from an adult. So how can they understand something that you're specifically explaining to them? That's bull. And it's a cop out. And we need to get out of that. Our kids are just as smart and just as knowledgeable if they choose to be as anybody else's kids. But we need to push that more and quit telling them they don't understand something or they can understand something. Yes, they can. And with that, I'm out. Peace, y'all.
peace. No more coming with the fire.
What?
Well,
Bro, speak. You want to
I
answer that?
again, I'm not saying that these kids are dumb. I'm not saying that they can't understand it. But I'm looking at what the media has been feeding them right now. And if you don't have a mother and a father to explain that, and they're seeing how these women are portrayed, especially black women now, yes, they're gonna have a problem with that. That's what
Well,
I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that our kids are dumb. But look who has more of a hold on them right now is the media, and who they're portraying, who they're showing that these are women that you need to get with now. That's what I'm talking about. And then you're gonna try to tell them that that's their better half, and you look at the women that they're trying to push on you now. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Now, and I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make like these kids are dumb or they're knuckleheads or anything like that. I'm saying that if if you're going to say stuff like that, you do have to explain it. And yeah, I agree with her on that you need to explain it early and often. But if you're not doing that and you just throwing that out there, then yes, that's going to be a problem. And then it's going to lead to two things. They're either going to penalize the women, or they're going to be angry at it because they feel like their lives don't even matter. That's the only thing I'm trying to say. I rather just let them focus on them, make sure they're straight. So then when they come across that woman, they know which woman they want to get. Instead of just, you know, that's just my thing. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to say that these boys are stupid or anything like that, but you gotta look at the generation that we have right now. Some of these some of us is, I don't we're more influenced by media, YouTube, Instagram than just actual other people.
you
That's
know
what I'm
what,
talking
Bell?
about.
Bell just made a very powerful point. She said, "Well, show them something different. Direct them to sites that show black women owning businesses and doing good things. You know how to counter narrative. So, what's wrong with what she just said? I agree with that because you have black men now who are doing the work of the media. Especially, you got the Manosphere out there. You got the Kevin Samuels out there who do nothing but talk bad about black women. You know, they're doing the job with the media for them. How come these big Manosphere channels aren't showing positive black women? How come they're not showing young black men that there are good black women out here versus what they're seeing in the media? Because I'm going to tell you right now, what's in the media is really a far fetched depiction of what black women really are in real life. They're not really like that. They're taking a few incidences out of situations such as places in Chicago where they done, created all kinds of fairy tales about violence and craziness. And they're taking those incidences and they're blowing them up over a wide landscape. And they're painting black women with a super broad brush. Black women aren't like that in real life. I live in the hood right now. I don't see black women running around here acting crazy like that. They're not out here twerking in the street, pulling their hair out, blessing men out in the street, being overly disrespectful to men in public. They're not doing these types of things. Every time you turn around, they got their ass. So they're not doing that. They're not twerking in department stores and in restaurants and just being all out, rambunctious and crazy like that. A lot of that stuff that you see in the media that's being depicted on YouTube is not even real. A lot of it is staged. Black women aren't acting like that in real life. I go to places all the time in the neighborhood. I don't see nothing like that going on. I don't. A lot of this stuff is fiction and it's being seen, it's being shown with an agenda. And when you have a large contingent of men who are pushing it. This is what the young boys are getting an earful of. They hear the guys in the manosphere pushing this shit, saying that they ain't no good black women, saying that their lives mean nothing, when they really should tell them that if you are devaluing the life of a black woman, you're devaluing your own life as well because that's where you come from. They're not even teaching them any real knowledge. They're not even giving them any real knowledge of who they really are. They got them hating themselves by hating the black woman. How you going to hate where you come from? If you hate your mother, you hate yourself. And like I said, all this is a bunch of BS. A lot of this stuff isn't even real. A lot of these things that you see on social media are staged. People are getting paid to do these things. Black women aren't acting like that in real life. You don't see black women out here walking around here who don't lost their damn mind, just twerking in the middle of the street, acting crazy, being disrespectful, and doing all kinds of things like that. I don't see that shit going on in real life. I only see that shit on social media. I don't see that nowhere where I go in town or in my neighborhood. And there's a lot of black women in my neighborhood. A lot. There's more black women in my neighborhood than black men. I don't see that.
Now, yeah, let's say I don't try to discredit somebody's experience. They had different experience. Now, me personally, have I seen black women just twerking everywhere? No, I haven't seen that either. Um, so I can't say. And do I think that there is a media thing that is doing that? Yes.
Well, actually, it's not even the media anymore.
Yeah.
They don't need it. Yeah. The media don't have to do anything anymore.
No.
They got the black hand of white supremacy working for them now. They got the manosphere. They got these sissy bims. They're doing the job for the media for them. You got black men who are sitting out here on social media in front of the whole world saying that the black woman's life has no value. The media isn't doing that.
Right. I hear you, and to Bella's point, I do agree that yeah, you do need to show something different. I do agree with that. If you
And then speaking of, I'm going to cut you off, but then check this out, right? She's saying that you do something different. Okay, well then that falls on us as black men, right? Why aren't we getting after these guys to show something different? Why aren't the black men who disagree with what's being said aren't showing, stepping to these guys and saying, hey, you need to show something different. We're sick and tired of you saying all of these crazy things that we know aren't true. Our women aren't acting like that. You know what's going on. You know that this stuff is BS. Now, you may have a sister twerking here and there, but it ain't nothing like what they're showing on social media. Now, I just don't simply see these things that I've seen on social media. And I frequent a lot of restaurants. I frequent a lot of places. I don't see black women acting out like it. Not even the young black women acting like this. I don't see this stuff. So it makes me question what's the real agenda going on? Well, the agenda is to keep the black family broken. That's the agenda. When you look at the manosphere, guys like Kevin Samuels, they are anti-black family. They're anti-black love. They're anti-black family. These guys who are assimilated into white culture. This is why you don't never see them stick up for black people. When black people, when harm comes black people way, they actually step against black people. Even right now, they're against guys like George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Corrine Gaines. Every time somebody black is met with an untimely demise at the hands of a white race soldier, they take the side of the white race soldier. They've completely assimilated into white culture. So they're going to promote any negative propaganda that the media has against black people. And so when you teach these young boys, what do you teach them? You teach them the truth. Hey, I agree with Bell. You talk to them like an adult. Listen, this is what it is. You have black men, grown black men, who've decided to do A, B, and C, and D against us. And they're trying to make your mother, your sister, look like this and look like that. And you explain these things to them like they're adults. You explain it to them. They can comprehend it. I think that's what we need to do. We need to make our young people aware that you have a contingent of enemies who happen to be black men who are promoting negative propaganda towards black women and children.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm, I'm like I said, and to be fair, they do have some guys who that were in the manosphere that was trying to stop that, but they got ran out of there. They just
Listen, man, let me say something to you, man.
Yeah.
Black men can stop this stuff if they wanted to.
Right.
Okay? They don't want to. You got too many brothers who are making excuses. They don't want to because deep down inside, a lot of them like the idea of being able to have sex with black women without any consequence or any responsibility. That's appealing to them. They've sold out. They don't care anything about black people anymore. This is anti black behavior. And we don't see it because the people who are perpetuating this anti black behavior have black skin. Usually we see this kind of anti black behavior from white people. Now we're seeing it from black people, and nobody wants to point it out. These guys are anti black. They're anti black family. They're anti black woman. They're anti black child. They are anti black. And they shouldn't have any of our support. And we should have a regiment of black men standing strong against them. Not sitting up here agreeing with them. Let me explain something to you. When Derek Jackson went down in flames, you know how many black men made podcasts making fun of black women?
Yeah, I know. I saw a couple of them.
Every time you have a chance to be the hero, right, you end up being a zero. Every time you have a chance to be the hero, you drop the ball. This was a perfect opportunity for black men to come out and care about the black women out here and tighten up the gap between black men and black women by teaching that this is not the type of guy you want to be with. This guy's a scoundrel. This guy's a confidence man. This guy's a land pirate, whatever, right? But now, you know what they did? They actually made fun of black women. And then the manosphere got to floating around here like they had some kind of victory. This is a pathetic state that we're in as black men. This is pathetic. I've never seen anything this bad before. I never thought I would see anything this bad before. Man, I come out of the 60s. Brothers were hard, man. Brothers were strong. We put hands on white folks. And you got these cowards out here now. And the only enemy that they seem to want to fight against is the black woman, who that they've been convinced by the white culture that they've assimilated into is their natural enemy. They believe the black woman is their natural enemy now. And the one that is their natural enemy, they got love for. Oh, they praise Becky up and down the street. Whether she look like a chipmunk or a walrus or a walking whale, they don't care nothing about that. You heard some fool the other day talking about he proud that his wife is white.
Yeah,
I never thought I hear a black man say something like that.
there's a lot of things I've heard that I wouldn't think black men would say. To be honest with you, I mean that
I mean,
it's
you
to
know
the
what?
point. I'm like,
You know that was bad, right? When you had a coon check this dude. A coon said, "Oh man, you don't say nothing like that." That's how bad that was. Even a coon said something about that. It's one of the most. This is the most sickening things I ever heard in my life coming out of a black man's mouth.
look, Max, that I've heard a black male on the podcast say, "You don't want to date nobody like me. Go date a white guy." Literally out his mouth on a podcast. So, man, trust me, I've seen worse. I've seen literally a black man saying he's putting a white man. It was so bad. Even the white man had to first he had to ask him, "Hey, are you white? Because you sounding real white because you in love with white men. You know a lot about white men. You are you white?" That's how bad it. That's how bad it's gotten with black men, and I'm looking at it. You know, I get disgusted with it. I'm like, it's raging, and it's sad. Was really sad for me, and I see a lot of women just eating that stuff up,
No,
and,
why
I get
wouldn't
why.
they?
Yeah, I get why. I know why because yeah, we dropped the ball. Trust me, I get the
Hey,
why. It's just
and
sad
you're
to
not.
see.
Not only have you dropped the ball, you done kicked the ball off the court. The ball ain't even around no more.
Yeah, we
So, so you can't even pick the ball up. You see, my thing is, you sitting up here, you steadily following white men. I asked this question. I always wanted to ask this question. I said the next time I have you up here or somebody else up here, I'm gonna ask this question. We know what the original manosphere is. It's a bunch of white dudes who are mixed up with their own female problems, right? About their women. What are we
Mhm.
doing with a black version? What the hell does black people need with a black version of the manosphere? Can somebody tell me what is the purpose of a black version of the manosphere? What do black people need with a black version of the manosphere? What are we doing with a black version of the manosphere?
That's the same question I would ask why we have a black feminist. That would be the same question why we even have any black group that's based off white people. It's the same thing.
Well,
Why do we even have that? I,
that goes back to what I said about these guys, right? They are male versions of extreme feminists.
yeah, I that I we agree 100% on that one because they.
Yeah.
I mean, you know when I hear the ones that I determine black feminists, and then when I pair it up with some of the guys in the black manosphere, they saying the same thing.
But you see, I'm not interested. Okay, as a man, right? Like I said, I come from the old school. You know, the men were hard, right? The men didn't worry about what the women were doing because the women they followed suit. Once the men laid down the law and upheld the standards in the community, the women followed the leaders. Okay, so I'm not concerned with what the women are doing. I'm concerned with why there's a black version of the manosphere. I don't care if there's a black female version of the feminist or anything like that. Women aren't the leaders in this society. We are.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not interested in what they're doing as far as their little groups because once we get our act together, right, they will follow. A woman is going to follow a man who got his shit together.
Right. I got
They ain't
you.
gonna follow no punk ass nigga who's weak and acting like a girl. So that's why strong men wasn't concerned with what women were doing because they understood that if they had their leadership intact and things were the way they were supposed to be, the women would follow suit.
Right.
Regardless of a woman could be sitting up there. Now, back in the day, there were black women who said black men wouldn't shit. Hell, they were saying it in my community when we had we had an abundance of good black fathers in the community, and black men were still saying, "Oh, that nigga ain't shit," right? But as soon as these niggas stood up and led, guess what? Them same black women that say niggas ain't shit, jump right in line, and follow the leader. So I'm not concerned with what the women are. I'm concerned with because the men are supposed to be the leaders, right? To me, it's more damaging to have a black version of the manosphere than a female black version of feminist. You see, because the black feminists, they ain't doing nothing but running their mouths. The men in the community, they set the law, they set the standards of behavior in the community. See, it's a whole different animal when you're talking about black male leadership, right? The man is the foundation of the home, right? The man is the foundation of the land. He is where everybody else stands on, right?
Right.
The backbone can't hold up without a foundation. The man is the foundation. You take away the foundation, nothing stands. So I'm concerned with why there's a black version, male version of the manosphere. Because that does way more damage than a black female version of the feminist. The feminists ain't doing nothing to us. It's what these men are doing. The feminists didn't destroy the community. It's the failed leadership of black men is what destroyed the community. Like I said, what is the community? The community is simply a collection of families. So if the black man is in his house, leading his family, and his family is strong, and you have each black man in his family doing the same thing, then you have a strong community. Why? Because that community is comprised of strong black families. If you have broken families, you will have a broken community.
Yeah, I got you. Now, as far as why there was a black version of the manosphere, man, if you, I don't know, because like I said, I don't follow the manosphere that far. I've heard what it was supposed to be. They both had their issues, which it was. I always thought that the black men's issues with black women were way different than what the white man had with his white women. That was way
No,
different issues.
the
So
black man's issues with black women are the issues that he created himself. The minute he decided to run after this demon that was murdering our children during slavery, getting black men murdered all throughout history, and still getting black men shot and murdered today, the minute he decided to go chase after this demon and make this demon his beloved, he betrayed the black woman. He created the problem right then and there. The minute you decide to betray the woman who's been at our side from day one, struggled with us, was beaten alongside of us, she had the skin ripped off of her back with whips, just like we had our skin ripped off our backs with whips. Right there beside us, being beaten and suffering along with us. The minute you decided to betray her and go after these very demons, right, that was murdering your children, murdering your men, getting your men tarred and fed and stuff like that, you created that problem. You created that problem. And that's a problem that you haven't fixed since. Matter of fact, you've made it worse. We are in this position and we're not going to ever get out of this position. And I'm going to say this one time. I might say it twice. And probably nobody is going to believe me. Some people who know where I'm coming from will probably understand what I'm about to say, right? We ain't gonna never be the men that we supposed to be until we do right by our women. We are in this position right now because of the way we treat our women. It's bad energy and it is karma that is coming back on a daily basis and it is whooping our natural black asses. Malcolm X said a nation can rise no higher than its woman. Why do you think he said that? The woman is the key, brother. And until we do right by her, we ain't gonna never have the good fortune. We ain't gonna never be seen as human. We're gonna always be under the gun. We're gonna always be under the master's heel. Because you know why? Because the power base that we need to get the inspiration and the courage that we need to stand up and fight, right? We've turned against. We've turned against our own support system. Without that support system, you're only operating at 50%. You ain't gonna never have the other 50%. You ain't gonna never be at 100% because you turned against your own support system. And that is the only woman that's been by our side since day one. Becky's never been by our side. There's never been no white woman by our side. Or a white woman that has endured what we have endured. There were no white women in slavery, right? Next to you being brutalized, being beat with whips. There were no white women there with you. There were black women there with you, trying to console you, trying to save her children, trying to save you, putting their lives on the line, trying to protect you, watching you get beaten and brutalized by this savage. With no white women by your side then. So why are you by her side now? So I don't understand these Negroes talking about something. A white woman is a status symbol. What status symbol? A status symbol of death? What she symbolizes? Death?
You got me because I never even thought of that. I'm like, I've seen a lot of these white women.
It was the black woman that's been by your side since day one. And she has endured and she has suffered and she has been beaten and brutalized and raped right along with you. And you've turned your back on them. And because of that, you created bad energy and karma that is constantly whooping our ass every single day. And we ain't going to never win until we break that bad energy.
Yeah. I mean,
until we right the wrong of betraying the woman that's been by our side, we ain't gonna never be a damn thing in this world.
What's going
Shout
on,
out to the
man?
info man. What's up, info? Shout out to the
What's up,
info man.
hey, permission, man.
What's going on? I have a different perspective. Maybe not too different, but let me just say this. I got a few things I want to say here. I won't take up all your time. First of all, Max, me and you are old school individuals. You know goddamn well as I know that most of the stuff that you hear these cats talking about within these platforms, that real brothers in the streets and in the community are not talking that type of bullshit. Nobody in the community, I haven't been around any black men, younger black men or older, who are talking red pill talk, beta male talk. Nobody's talking this bullshit in real society. The only people that are talking that type of way are people who are plugged into the YouTube and follow people who talk this narrative. So let's keep this in mind. Some of these guys that you hear talking like this on these platforms, they don't represent black men who are dedicated to their family and to their children. You've got guys on these platforms talking down on the idea of getting married and family. What the hell is that all about, right? Family is the basis of everything. So
That's
anytime
right.
you've got a black man on these platforms talking against the institution, or let me just say marriage, the importance of marriage between black men and black women, anytime they're talking that, when that's the first thing that black people did coming out of slavery into Reconstruction was getting married, any Negro talking like that is a Negro that's not worth listening to at all. Now, these Negroes that are into, let's say, for example, white women, let's break it down here. White women have been on the front lines of white supremacy against black men from the very day. Where does that white supremacy start? It starts in the schools. Most of the teachers are white teachers. That's where
right.
black males get demonized as hyperactive. The school to the prison line, industrial pipeline. It starts in school. I just did a story on my podcast channel. We've got tons of stories where black children are being abused in these schools. We got one black child that's being made to put his hands in the toilet and take his feces out and clean. We got one black child who's drinking urine. Okay, I don't know what his parents are doing, letting him spend a night at some house, but then we're finding out that he's been racially abused in the school. We got a 6-year-old black kid, I did a story on this, who got arrested, I think in North Carolina. They arrested him, or he got a court date because guess what? Guess why? Because he picked a flower out of a garden. He picked a tulip flower. And in North Carolina, they got these old draconian rules where they can still charge you as a little kid for doing something like that, and you actually get a court date. He was so oblivious to it that they had to give him a coloring book. These are young black male children that are being targeted. We did a story about a young black male who his mother gave him a shirt called Black King for Black History Month. He went to school, and the teacher said, "Oh, you're being racist," and his schoolmates were laughing at him. There was a story, 2 or a year ago, where you had a black male in school who went through all the years of school, and when it came time for graduation, they said he couldn't graduate until he cut his locks off. So they've been attacking young black males in schools. I don't know where the rest of these Negroes are on YouTube who talk all this divide between women and men. We got bigger fish to fry. We got our young black males being attacked in these school systems. Okay, that's what we should be focusing on, and we should be working together. Family is the basis of everything. Now, check this out. The bottom line, Brother Max, is that we got to be careful when we begin to take the minimum and make it the maximum of who we are, and take the maximum and minimize that. Because the brothers that I've hang out with, the brothers that I know, they're not doing that. See, this is the deal. We got 2 brothers in this space who actually are working with youth. You got George Macomb, too, who's got the Urban Nerds worldwide program in Philadelphia, where he's working with you. Then you got my man Q Butter, who's doing big time things in Browns, New York, with his Exotica institution. I'm going to be doing 2 videos on that. He's got an educational institution. He's doing the work. So when you hear Negroes talking about red pill, blue pill, female nature, this is how you get a female. God damn it, I said this to you before. If you are a grown man and you haven't figured out female nature or how to deal with women, and you need to rely on a coach. You are a sad example, okay? We got people talking all that talk while how can anybody be talking that type of talk when we're being attacked? Literally, our youth, our children. You just had the young man getting shot yesterday or on Sunday, and come to find out, because I'm going to do a story on it, come to find out that the car, Max, that they claim had expired tags, not true. It was a brand new car that was given to him by his mom and dad. And they said that the tags were up to date, and he was shot. Okay, so we're being attacked in the streets, and we got Negroes talking about a divide between women and men and promoting this shit. Now check this out. Check this out. The white manosphere, the Negroes thought that, well, let me create something different over here and call it the black manosphere, because we're separate from the white manosphere, and the white boys If you go to these white boy manosphere channels and check them out and hear their conversations, they're literally laughing at brothers in the black manosphere. They're literally giggling at some of the things that they see going on in that space. Another thing that's goofy is that when you have Negroes who white men have put white women on a pedestal, and then you got Negroes who chase after white women. But wait a minute, if white women were so special, then why do you have white men who went MGTOW because they having problems with their women? So if white women are the answer, why would you have a movement amongst white men who are saying that they no longer want to deal with their women, right? Then you got the passport Negroes who go over to other countries to marry up women in Brazil and places like that. And I've got family in Brazil. And guess what? I asked O'Shea Duke Jackson this one time on his show a couple years ago. I said that if the women in Brazil were such wife material, are so great, why is it that the women that they're meeting in Brazil have not been wifed up by Brazilian men? I talked to a cousin of mine in Brazil. He said that these guys don't realize that the women that gravitating towards them are the women that we see as the dots in our culture. So you go to another culture, you don't speak the language that well, you meet some of their women and you say, wow, I'm being treated like I've never have in my life. But you don't even know that that's a dot female in their culture, and that the Brazilian man won't marry that woman, because in that culture, they get married very early. And O'Shea said to me, that's a very good question, Info. So that's my question. You got to ask yourself, if those women have not been married up yet, then what would be the status of those women amongst those men in that culture? So you got, and so to me, it's a sad. So what happens is that, the dating pool is messed up in America. Yeah, we got problems in our dating pool. But if you can't pull a woman where you are, where you sleep and eat, and you got to go running thousands of miles across seas, then you got to question yourself. Now, I know people like to travel, what have you. That's great. But this is the destruction, Brother Max, that is taking place. But let's be careful, and let's not, in our back of our mind, think that what we hear on YouTube is a straight reflection of what's going on in every black community and amongst men and way they think, and every black community in America, because that's foolishness. We don't know every black community in America. We don't know every black man. There are certainly those that are doing the wrong thing, but there's brothers out here that are doing the right thing, and they don't get emphasized. And a lot of these people who peddle this bullshit are peddling it so they can sell you a book. They can sell you time to give you their confrontation, to sell you on some bullshit. This is all about making money at the expense of the black community. I'll stop there.
Absolutely. And when you look at the copycat of these, for example, you talked about white men creating these groups against their own women because they don't want to deal with their own women.
Right.
You have black men who are copying that same template. They're copying it. Like I said, what are we doing with a black version of the man? We don't need a black version of the manosphere. We got young men out here being shot. We have women being killed. Our children are being murdered. We're screwed up in our communities. We got bad messages being put out all over the place. We got a contingent of men who are anti-black family. I mean, just anti-black, period.
Max, I'll tell you, brother, and I'm being candid with you. I have been on panels where guys complain about this. And the one thing that they're scared of, it's almost like Dracula being scared of the cross or garlic. When you say to them, what are the solutions? Because now when you say that word, you're saying, let's be accountable, Negroes.
Yes.
And then when I say that and I say, are you a member of an organization where you can do something to change this? Because everybody wants to say, well, you don't want to be the fix-it man. Okay. I said, are you willing to get involved in making changes in the community? So then you'll have guys that will say, well, I don't have time, man. I'm busy. I work. I blah, 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 blah. Okay. I say to them this next, Max, and everyone listening. Okay, brother, if you don't have the time to get involved physically in the community and you don't want to do that for whatever your reasons are, then are you willing to support, or have you supported an organization that is doing the work that you may not want to do physically and you may not have the time to do, but you can sponsor an organization? Just like with my brother George Macom with the Urban Nerds Worldwide, I'm going to be sponsoring that program. And when you say this to Negroes, it gets as quiet as a rat pissing on cotton in the goddamn. I've said this to people on platforms, and the minute I drop that bomb on them, either they're not involved in any organization, they're not sponsoring a group, or they're not doing anything. And it always comes down to, well, I don't have time, or I'm not a cleanup man. And that tells me right there, they ain't worth a bag of $2 worth a bag of fries. That tells me that these Negroes are not on here to really create real change. They're just on here to be heard, run their mouth, push narratives about women, because sadly, they can't get the women that they want. Men who get the women that they want and exclude the women that they don't want don't spend time on social media complaining about women, which is why I don't spend a lot of time on my channel with that type of energy. Now, I've been on platforms where I've given my opinions because there are some problems. Men, we've got our problems. Women do have some of their problems, but I don't spend a lot of my time downing black women or downing women in general, because one, it's whiny, it's weak. If you don't like certain type of women as a man, you move forward and deal with women that you feel are what you're looking for, and stop complaining about women, for the most part, that you have no interest in being with, and you're never going to ask them out, but you complain about them. And it's like, since I've been on YouTube, I'm hearing the same circular conversations, Max, over and over again every year. There's no growth. Now the new shit now, all it is packaging to sell you something. The new word now is high value man. And I've been saying, I said on my channel a few times, God damn it, if you are born into the world, if God brought you into the world and brought your parents together and you are alive, you're already goddamn high value, because you are a child of God. Okay?
Right.
All this high value shit is about materialistic stuff. How much money you have, what kind of car you drive. Guess what? I can make a lot of money tomorrow, lose my job, lose my income, lose my business. Then what? What am I next? What am I now, Max? Tell me what I am.
You would be a bum.
But what? Well, no, you would be seen as a bum in the way society superficially looks at people's worth. But even if you're a bum and you've got no money, no car, no nothing that you lost, you still a child of God.
Oh, of course.
Which gives you still value.
Absolutely.
Because Max, and I'm gonna be quiet after this. Because Max, when we were born, when me and you were born, and the ladies in the chat room were born, Speaks was born, that's on here, brother Speaks was born. Did you come into the world as a baby with clothes on and a car and money? You came into the world naked.
That's right. Naked and with nothing.
And when you leave the world and you die, you can't take the suits, the cars, and the houses, and all the high value superficial things. That shit ain't going with you. It ain't going with you nowhere.
Nope. And when you came into this world naked with nothing, who was there to help you? Your mother.
Your mother, a black woman, your father, the family, the community, which is why family, if you look at every culture, this is why I don't understand why we talk like this. If you look at every culture besides black people, in those cultures, they have a value of family. When I lived in San Francisco for many years, I did have friends that were Chinese. And when you hear, we see this in movies and stuff where you'll hear the elders say, you have dishonored the family and we're going to excommunicate you. That ain't just in the movies, Max. That's real. I've been around people that were Asian, where there was a cat that I knew in high school, and he said, man, I know I'm going to be dishonored because I said, what are you talking about, man? because I did this and my family's going to find about it,
Mhm.
I'm asked out. Because in other cultures, there is a penalty and a punishment that you know you're going to get when you betray your
I know
community
it well.
and when you do betray your family and your culture. In Black America, we don't punish our coons. We don't punish our sellouts. We allow them to walk right into the shit with us, talk their shit, come up with goofy narratives that they're borrowing from white supremacists, because that's what the white manosphere is a manifestation of, nothing but white
Mhm.
supremacy. And then what they
Mhm.
do, Max, and I'm putting a tie and a bow on this. What they do, Max, is that they criticize and they say, oh, the pro-blacks this or the B1s this. Guess what? It was the B1s and the pro-blacks that protected your black ass, who made it possible for you to walk down the street, who made it possible for you to better get a job because of equal opportunity. It was the so-called pro-blacks and the B1s who were out there marching, protesting, making opportunities for Negroes who want to talk the talk that they talk on YouTube to have the freedoms that they have. It was the pro-blacks that opened up these doors for your asses. See,
That's
nobody
right.
wants to deal with that. And check this out. And the very Negroes who will criticize people that are B1 or pro-black, when they get in trouble with white people, when they feel racism and white supremacy, who do they go run into for help? Brother Max, who do they go run into?
The pro-blacks
And the
and the
B1.
conscious. The
Right.
B1s.
They run to the conscious community and say, hey, I was done wrong. Can y'all help me? That's who they run to.
Yeah,
So when
man,
you
back-
hear Negroes talking like this on YouTube, don't pay them no never mind. Because as soon as they get in trouble, they gonna come a running to the black
Mhm.
conscious community saying, I need assistance.
Right.
Look at what's the chick, Stacey Dash. She did all
Mhm.
that cooning,
Oh.
and now she's trying to come back to the black community and say, oh, come on, forgive me. See, that's how it works.
Yeah.
I'll stop
Yeah.
there.
Right, and you had the brothers back then that was so pro-black. They fought the police. I mean, I used to see fights in the street with cops. Guys would fight white cops, and they would keep white cops off of other blacks. Like, what happened to George Floyd, y'all? It wouldn't have happened back in the '60s. They would have jumped on that cop. I'm
Right.
telling you that right now. They would have jumped on it. They would have got that cop off of him.
If they had their
Okay.
child shot
Yeah.
in the way that
Yeah.
Deontay Wright was shot yesterday, they're
Mhm.
not gonna go run into the white conservative. You got a
No.
lot of Negroes that talk that conservative shit on YouTube too. They're not running to the white conservatives. They're not
Nah, it'd
running
been
to
hella
Donald
bad.
Trump. Donald Trump ain't gonna help them. They're gonna run to the very people that they criticize for
You know
help.
what? I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't see it. Like, you know, when I started seeing stuff like that, like what you see now. Remember Eleanor Bumpers?
Yes, sir.
When I believe that was in the middle of the crack epidemic, right? That's when I started seeing black people outright getting blown away like that.
Right. Right. But
Okay,
the-
I didn't. Yeah.
But the important point here is that when I hear Negroes on YouTube who have a conservative slant and they speak their speech, I take it with a grain of salt, because the same Negroes, when the shit hits the fan, they can't run they'll tell you, oh, Donald Trump, this and that. Donald Trump is not going to do anything for them. The white conservatives won't do shit for them. Now, check this out. Case in point. The young man was shot yesterday, on Sunday. George Floyd was shot. When George Floyd got shot, you didn't hear anything from Donald Trump, his administration. You don't hear anything from any of these conservatives, white conservatives, and you don't hear shit from black conservatives
No.
or anything. But who do you see speaking up normally? See? So it would be the conscious or your B1s or what have you. And as much as I have criticism for someone like an Al Sharpton or someone like what's the brother that's always handling these cases, a Crump. As much as I might have,
Dude.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like the dude too. But as much as I might have criticism for these people, 9 out of 10 times, if you get yourself in a jam, you may want some of these folks that have organizations to back your play against the police. You might ask, even though you may not like them, you still may want that support if it's offered to you. And none of these Negroes would turn that offer down, especially if it puts their kid in the spotlight of the society of what's going on. So I laugh. So you got to laugh at guys who talk this kind of talk, because 9 and 10 times they've done nothing. They're not willing to do anything. And 9 and 10 times, and a lot of times, I'm going to keep it real. A lot of these guys like to hide behind their avatars, talk a lot of shit, so that you can't. So when they talk a lot of shit, the ones that talk the most shit, you can't see them. So therefore, they're hiding themselves from black people so that they can't be held accountable when you run up on their ass in the streets. I'm talking about the people who talk the most shit.
Yeah.
You notice that? The ones that talk the most shit don't tend to always show themselves.
Yeah, they try to be like Tommy, but at least Tommy will show himself. All these other goofballs, they won't show themselves, and then they talk tough. They want to threaten people. I'm like,
but Tommy,
you gonna threaten somebody?
Yeah.
Hey, I can't even see who you are.
Right. Tommy, look, Tommy does what he does. He's been doing it for years. But you can make an argument, the fact that he has had a certain level of success on the social media is a bad reflection on our people, that we've allowed that to go on for many years. However, this is what I've also learned on YouTube, brother. When you look at channels where the talk is negative, it's doxing, it's back and forth, or it's all negative talk about women or what have you, and you see them with 3 and 4 and 500 people watching, a lot of times we may think that, man, that's a lot of black people watching them. No, a lot of these people, black people on YouTube are like a drop in a hat. It's 1%. 1%. So even when you look at Kevin Samuels' channel, he's only getting a small percentage of black people that are watching. The majority of people that are watching are other race of people. So if you got white people and other groups of people that are saying, let's watch this show because I enjoy listening to black men talk about their own women. I enjoy listening to them fight back and forth. Honey, pop the popcorn. So when you see those large numbers of views, and you don't see those people in the chat room, because some of those people are non-black and they're enjoying the car crash. Okay. Now, another thing about the white manosphere, I think there's a show called Fit and Fresh. It's a podcast. Kevin Samuels was on there, and there was like 3 white women. There was one main white woman that he was talking to, and he was giving her instruction. There was another white man on the show who's sort of like the godfather of the white manosphere. I can't think of his name. Is Negrassi something? I can't pronounce his name. Okay. While Kevin Samuels was giving this white woman instructions about how she needs to carry herself, you could tell that this white manosphere godfather did not like what Kevin Samuels was saying to the white woman. You know why? Because they don't have any problem with you saying negative things or saying or giving instruction to your women. They got a problem when you try to give instruction to their women. Now it's like, wait up, hold up. What are you doing talking to my women now like that, Negro? And so, and I know, and then guess what he did? He ended up leaving the show. Didn't speak too much and you can see in his body language that he didn't really like Kevin Samuels talking to the white woman the way he talked to her. Because why? He believes that he's white, he's king, he's the master. Negro, you're my slave. You got no business talking to my woman like that. And that's why I said earlier that the white manosphere, they laugh at brothers in the black manosphere, because you can talk about your woman, but they're not going to let you talk about their woman, even if they got a problem with their woman. You get what I'm saying?
But what podcast was that again? Info?
It's called it's Fit and Fresh. It's a podcast. It's like a man show. They have females on there. The guys are talking about male related issues, relationship, women, all that kind of stuff. And you've had Donovan, you've had Kevin Sam, you've had these folks of these ilk. Yeah. You've had folks of that ilk on the show. and then they'll always have these little women on, these little young girls on the show. You could tell immature females. Then they bring other females on and they have these discussions.
I
But-
see info, man. Some of those old shit Duke Jackson, but I don't even know how you lasted on some of them panels, bro. I really don't. I don't even know how you even. Oh man, God, dog. When you was on some hellacious panels over there, man.
Yeah, you know,
how you do
crazy.
it, bro.
Hey, but I don't let it affect me because I have a goal and a mission of what I'm doing on my channel, and I know that these guys, when they speak the way they do with such authority, I know that they're like a very small piss in the wind talking, because when I go out into the world, I've never been around black men personally, and Max, check this out, brother. I can make an argument, not to be braggadocious. I can make the argument that I've been around very successful and what you would call high value black men. I've been around black men that are millionaires, who don't drive fancy cars, who don't wear fancy clothes. I've been around black men. If you looked at them, you would have never known that they're worth X amount of money, right?
Right.
Because black men in the community carry ourselves in different ways. But when you listen to Negroes on YouTube, you would think that black men have to be this way or that way, when black men are all different. You have intellectual brothers that are intellectual, brothers that have streetwise, but you have brothers from I've been around who don't get into the acronyms that we hear black men talking about on YouTube. I never heard anybody use these acronyms. If a brother got a problem with a woman, he would just say, I got a problem with that woman. Right. Or I'm tired of this black woman. They'll talk like that, but they don't get into this. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to become MGTOW, man, and I'm going to give up on women. Yeah. I don't hear Negroes in the community talking like that.
Right. You know, another thing about this so-called high value guy, these guys have closed out the blue collar guy. How you going to close out the blue collar guy? The blue collar is how many of us were raised. We were raised in blue collar homes. You know, our fathers were hardworking blue collar men, right, who raised huge families. So how are you just going to take this high value guy and just wipe out the blue collar guy? Which is really the backbone. Yeah, which is really the backbone of society, of our black society.
But wait a minute, Max. I would venture to guess or make a bold statement here that you probably got brothers that are blue collar, that are plumbers, who make more money than some of the Negroes on YouTube who claim to be big time businessmen. Exactly. I bet you some of the blue collar brothers bring in more money.
Yes, it's steady money, consistent money.
But see, check this out. There's a brother that I follow. There's a trucking community, a black trucking community. And I've heard the brothers on these trucking channels talk about how much money they make or how much money they can make in their trucking business.
Yeah, that's my thing too. I do trucking too.
And they say it in a very humble manner. They don't speak upon it as if they're better than somebody, but they'll say, hey, if I do this with my truck or my business, I can take in this much money. I can earn this and I can have a pretty good life for myself. But they don't spend all this time braggadocious type of shit. And to me, brothers like that, they really are the ones that really represent black men that are out there in the real world. See, you don't have to. I know I know everybody wants to put the suit on now and project an image, but image is nothing without fucking substance and character. If you can put a duck in a tuxedo, but it'll still be a goddamn duck. So you put a man in a suit and put fancy cologne on him, and if you find out that he's not a man of character, he don't take care of his family, he don't do A, B, and C, and it's all fucking image, then all that don't mean a goddamn bill, a hill of shit. You just a duck in a goddamn tuxedo, but you're still a goddamn duck.
Yep. An absolute duck too.
Now, I don't think personally that guys are really ready for the real conversation because everybody wants gimmicks, right? How do I get a woman? What's the gimmick? Well, see, you got to talk to her this way. You got to make sure you do this. You got to don't call her because you want to make sure that you're in control. All this manipulative little kid stuff, right? So everybody wants the secret decoder ring for how you can put women under your spell.
But my problem with all of that is you don't have anything to sustain it. If you get the woman, how can you sustain it? A lot of these guys, they get the woman, right? And then they can't sustain her. And then they can't sustain the children that they have with this woman. Next thing you know, they're baby mamas, they're baby daddies. He's on child support because he can't sustain a family.
Absolutely correct. Because really, it's really all about trying to get the woman so you can get the coochie so that you can project this image to your friends or those that you're trying to project it to that you are a ladies' man. When the goal, look, men are put on earth, Brother Max, and you know this. We are on this planet by God to do what? To solve problems, to produce, and to build a family. Men are producers and we are solvers of problems, and we are here to produce family. So if you're on this earth, how long you going to run around messing around with different women? How long? Because that's not what God put you on this earth for. He put you on this earth to produce family, to multiply, to procreate, and build family structures. Check this out. This is how you know this is a universal principle. And a lot of these guys won't be able to figure this out. It's a universal principle because if you look at animals, you look at the ants, the bugs on the ground that crawl under your goddamn feet. Even a bumblebee will fight for hell and fire to keep you from destroying their hive. Why? Because they're building a goddamn family, Max.
Building a family, that's right.
A goddamn bee, a damn ant that runs an ant hill. They will fight you when you attack their structure because their goal innately is to protect their family, their home, and to produce more ants and bees and so on and so forth. God damn it, if the animals and the bugs and the insects do it, then what the hell is wrong with us? And we supposed to be humans with brains and all kind of shit.
That's right. We supposed to be the smart ones.
It's too much stuff going around. They make it more complicated than what it have to be.
I wonder if you have a group of manosphere ants that are complaining about the female ants.
Bro Speaks, answer me this question.
Yeah.
Don't you find it interesting that a fucking bug on the ground that you step on will fight to protect its family? A goddamn organism. Come on, bro Speak. You got to speak on that. Come on now.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know how to say this other than the fact that that concept is lost, and it's more or less trying to, I don't know. It's either they want the aspects of a woman, but not the actual woman. It's like it's either the sexual aspect, the physical aspect, like the beauty, or just the validation of a woman, but not the whole woman. It's more or less they're obsessed with the idea of having a woman in the capacity, or it's to the point where they just don't want them at all because the idea of having this woman is just too much for some of them.
Okay,
that's how I look at it.
Right. Well, you see, if you look at guys like myself and Info, we pretty much come from almost the same generation. I think I'm a little older than Info, but we pretty much come from.
How old are
I'm 54. I'm 54.
Okay, you got me beat I'm 51, so you got me beat by a few years.
Okay.
But yeah, we in the same stratosphere though, brother.
Same stratosphere. Now, Info, you know what I say when I say this. We were groomed to be husbands. Okay. Our families groomed us to be husbands. My father taught us, he taught me, I have 5 brothers. He taught us all, listen, this is what you do. You go out and you establish yourself first. You get your homestead, you get your money together, you get your transportation. Okay. Then you go out and you get the woman, so you'll have something to bring her back to. These
Mm,
guys today, they're doing it the opposite way. They don't have nothing, and they're going out to get the woman, and they're getting her pregnant and can't sustain her or the child because they have nothing. They don't
right.
have the they don't have the finances. They don't have the homestead. They don't even have any chances. A lot of them are living off of the women, right? And a woman is driving them around like a damn chauffeur. They don't have anything. They're not groomed to be husbands. That's why they're not fit to be husbands and fathers. We were groomed to be husbands and fathers. That's why many of us out of my generation are successful and have long lasting, successful marriages. We were groomed to be husbands and fathers. We were taught by our fathers and mothers how to be husbands and how to be fathers and the things that we needed to sustain a family. And we went out and we acquired those things first, then went after the female.
Right.
They're doing it backwards now.
Yeah.
These guys don't have shit. And they're talking
Well,
about, oh man, what about this hoe and that hoe? We didn't even talk like that.
I think if you don't build your, I think one of the air, and we hear this in the manosphere, that one of the things that they do tell brothers that you got to build yourself up, get yourself in order. Don't chase women, chase money. That's some of the things that you hear, because if you
Yeah.
accumulate a certain level of wealth, a certain level of building yourself up, women are going to be there and they're going to be attracted to that. And women are attracted to men who have power, influence, and authority. And I think what's happened is that we've gotten away from that natural order of things that as young men, if we have sons in particular, we should be teaching them in that manner, because women are going to be attracted to that. But we need to be not only, I think what's happening is that guys are being taught those values in order for them to engage in pimp behavior, meaning, let me do this so I can get many, many women, when you really should be teaching them those values so that they can be a great husband, a great member of the community, and a great father. I think that's how it's being twisted. I think people are learning it for the wrong reasons, which is, let me see how many women I can hold with, versus
Right.
let me learn these skills because I want to build a family someday. I think that's might be where the disconnect is, brother Max.
Mm-hmm. And how many of these brothers can go out and create and you know, like right now, if I would lose my job right now, I have other skills I can fall back on that I was taught. Okay, and so these brothers here, a lot of these guys are driving forklifts. They don't have any real skills.
Mm.
And you know, you talk about high value and high dollar and six figure. Well, you have to have the skills to make that kind of money. You don't just go out and make six figures.
Right.
You have to know how to make six figures.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
All right. So yeah. So these guys, they don't even make that kind of money, man. And they engage in this fictional, high value nonsense. You know, it's high value when you take care of your family. That's high value.
Right. It's like this. If you look at the pattern of what happens on YouTube, it's just like watching anything that's pop culture. A particular catchphrase, a dance, or something is hot for the moment. So right now, it's the term high value, but by next year, it may be something else,
Right.
and then something else. But the question is it evolving to the point that it is getting to a solution that really helps the community? If it does not really help the community in a collective format, then it does not work. So for example, when you look at these white guys in their little manosphere, if you notice one thing about them, they talk and do what they do, but it's for the collective of what's going to be in the best interest of their white world that they live in.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's in their collective. This is
that.
why you see a lot of these white manosphere guys, their channels blow up, they support each other, they do cross promotions, so on and so forth. And they work together, and then they build their own. For example, you got Negroes that talk about the 21 Studios convention, which is basically a convention that the white manosphere has created. Now ask yourself, where is the black manosphere conference? Big time conference every year. I think O'Shea Duke Jackson was talking about trying to put that together. But that's the question. Why, when you look at the white manosphere, they're building a structure that benefits them economically, socially, and community-wise. So when black men come together on these platforms, the question you have to ask is, why is there not a convention for their sector of YouTube? Or
I mean,
I can make another argument, Max. Where is the Black YouTube convention?
Yeah, no shit.
I would love to see that, and I would support it. But the question is, can we get enough black people to come together to create that? Because we got too many of us beefing with each other.
yeah, the closest we got is C Boogie. He has his conference every year.
Yeah, but how many people are supporting the C Boogie's conference? Really, out of the space? Let's be honest.
Out of the space, it's not that many. That's the closest one I've seen.
Thank you.
And they not even supporting that, and they
You
shit
have,
on that.
Right,
yeah,
my man Gab, my man Gab supported that. So the question is, C Boogie should have had everybody and their mama within the manosphere who promote that type of talk that he talks about. They should have given him more support.
You have Organic Black saying that convention doesn't accomplish anything either. And where are the men lobbying to get laws changed?
Well, see, that's another thing, Max. I've been on panels where I said to brothers, if you don't like the welfare system and the family court system, then you're going to have to come together, organize, and lobby the politician. The women get what they get out of the system because women do a better job of lobbying for their issues, whether it be health or otherwise, than men do. And when you bring that up, no one wants to say anything. And then when you also say, do you have 50-50 custody, brother? Because what I notice, some of the guys who have problems with family court or their ex-wives or girlfriends, one of the reasons why they have problems is because they don't have 50-50 custody. They either failed to go to court to fight for it or didn't even go get it. And they allowed the woman to get complete custody. And then when the woman is able to get all the money she can get out of them, then they complain and say, oh my God. But it's like, dude, did you ever consider getting your custody of the child, getting 50-50 custody? Being able to show the court that, yes, I want to be in the life of my child. I was married for 15 years. I have 50-50 custody. But that was already agreed upon from the very get-go in my marriage. So because I have 50-50 custody, my ex can't turn around and say A, B, and C. She can't even leave the state without letting me know with my child because I have 50-50 custody. If I had no custody of my child, she could do whatever she wants. And she can squeeze me out more money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw them lobbying for a law that they want passed that will allow them to divorce themselves from their children.
Oh, God, man.
Yeah, I saw that they had a big panel. I think it must have been 10 guys up there.
The question is to be asked is why? See, are guys wanting to divorce themselves from their kids because they just can't stand the woman that they were with and the woman is giving them some trouble? Or are they doing that because they just don't want to deal with their kids, period? That's the question.
I think it's a bit of both, really.
Damn. Then why have kids?
Well, who do they think is going to take care of these children? The system doesn't want to take care of our children. What do you think is going to happen to these children?
They don't care, Max. I mean, the sad thing is a lot of these dudes don't care.
The kids are going to grow up. They're going to get involved in the jail system. May possibly they might get on drugs. They might be menace in the community. And these will be the same kids in the community that Negroes on panels would tell you, I'm not going to be the cleanup man. I'm not doing anything for the community, Ty. And I'm like, well, because the community is out of control and the women are running amok of the community. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if you don't,
where
if you
is
want
this? Well, I'm sorry. Where is this women running amok in the community? I don't see that. Where is this at?
Right. But to go to your point, if you want to divorce your child, then that child grows up without you in their life. That child can potentially become that Pookie or Ray Ray that you want to complain about and say, hey, I don't want nothing to do with the community. Let the community burn. Because you hear guys say this sometimes where they'll say, let the community burn. But you are contributing to the problem in that community if you are divorcing yourself from your child and if you're having no desire to be in your child's life. But let me say this, though, Max, because I believe in black fathers. Technically, Max, it is not the majority of black fathers who are abandoning their kids. For the most part, black men are paying child support. Black men are in the life of their kids. Black men pay their child support more than any other race in this country. That's statistics.
Mhm.
You can look those up. Black men are already rated some of the best fathers in this country. I think what happens is what I said before. We're letting the minimum become the maximum. We've got a few
Mhm.
dusty and musty dudes out here who are causing these problems. And then the narrative becomes that this is all black men when it really is a small number of musty and dusty and crusties who are now being used as the poster child to stereotype all of us. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, man. They seem to have the loudest voice right now too.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it's helped by the media too. That they
I
get
don't
the
know about the
loudest
media.
voices. They get the most views, and it's like more people support them than the actual men in the community that's actually doing something. Who
I don't
actually are
understand.
family.
Can't they see that this is a detriment to all of us? They can't see that.
No,
Not if
Like,
you're selfish, not if
nope.
you're a selfish person, you can't see that. But I'm gonna drop off the panel. But at the end of the day, there are black men out here that are committed to their families and they're committed to their community and they are doing what they have to do. But we
mhm.
got so many of the dusties and crusties that are overshadowing what we're doing because that is what's being promoted and pumped out there, unfortunately. And on top of the fact that the black male's image sexually is being broken in the media because every time you see a black male in mass media, it's a male that's acting like feminine. Just like
Yeah.
how many of you saw Kid Cudi on Saturday Night Live?
Oh,
He came
God
out there
damn
dressed in a
it.
goddamn dress.
God.
Yeah, I just said
I
it. We're going to
saw
see
that.
a whole panel of that pretty soon.
I
Guys going to be
I
wearing
saw
dresses.
that. God damn it. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn.
And then when he was criticized for it, he says, well, Kurt Cobain did this. I'm thinking to myself, just like Tariq was saying last night, that's a white boy.
That's
Let the white people do what they want to do. That ain't natural
Mhm.
to black people.
And then on top of that, white men control their image. So even if you have a white dude that go out there in a dress, there are so many other examples of white men being masculine that you can overshadow that part. We don't have that.
Right.
So when you have a black dude going out there in a dress, that's what they're going to focus on because you don't control nothing in your media. They're going to focus on that.
You're 100% right because when you look at white culture, let's keep it real. When you look at comic books, superhero movies, television, TV shows, they always make white men the heroes. They make them masculine, and even if they put a black character in there, the black character is always a sidekick. Even when you looked at the movie Lethal Weapon with Danny Glover was just a goddamn sidekick.
Mm-hmm. Well, White's got the superhero that is supposed to be masculinity personified. That's Superman. He's white.
Right. So they can afford to let some of their kids run around with pink hair, purple hair, wear dresses, high boots, and all that kind of stuff. They can afford that. But black people, we can't afford a Billy Porter. Remember, check this out. Remember Billy Porter.
Oh my God.
This is why I don't fuck with Essence and any of these magazines anymore. Essence magazine put Billy Porter on the cover where he had a red, this is disrespectful, he had a red, black, and green African colors, right? Dress on with the American flag stars on it. and he was sashaying in the dress. Then when he went to the Oscars in that dress tuxedo that he had on, and you know what he said when he got criticized by the black community for it? He said, okay, y'all saying that I'm hurting black men's masculinity? He said, I'm going to keep doing this. This is what Billy Porter said. Billy Porter said that he was going to continue to impact black man's masculinity by walking around with dresses and being feminine as he can be with himself. Okay. He's gay. He can be what he wants to be. He said he's going to continue doing it. And you got a magazine like Essence Magazine that puts him on the cover after he said that he's going to continue to make black men look bad, and you'll put him front and center on the goddamn cover.
Yeah, well, she's married to a white dude. I always thought that was suspect.
But you get what I'm saying. The
Right,
Essence
yeah.
Magazine is a very popular, or was a very popular magazine in the black community, and it's a magazine that's on major shelves, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they're willing to project his image, then we're lost.
Wow.
Y'all have a good evening. I mean, a good day, man. Now I'm pissed off.
Info, what was that podcast again? You said it was called Fit and what?
I think it's called Fit and Fresh podcast.
Fit and Fresh. Okay.
I think it's called Fit and Fresh.
Okay.
I think if you put Fit and Fresh in there, I think it's either check this out. It's either Fit and Fresh or it's Fit and Fitness Fresh or something like that.
Okay.
Just write those two things down. And yeah, they be on there talking and it's all based on it's man talk, female type stuff, what have you, sort of one of these man type shows. So but y'all take care of yourself, okay?
Okay. Hey, thanks for coming up, Info. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Always a pleasure. All right. All right, y'all. Very good show. Hey, Albina.
Fools, there are no visitors allowed here.
I think she might be her working. All right, everybody, I'm going to shut it down. Thanks for coming. Appreciate the podcast. And everybody who supported. Shout out to Organic Black, Twin Squad, and T. Belmort, as always. Great stuff, Bell. You was on fire today. Shout out to Bro Speak, Info Man for coming up, Phoenix Gene. How you doing, Miss Lyons? Glad everybody came to support the channel. Like, subscribe, and share, because they're trying to silence us. They're trying to shadow ban us. All right? And if you're not getting the notifications, temporarily unsubscribe and resubscribe and hit the shaded bell that says all. All right? All right, y'all. I'm going to shut it down until later. We'll probably be back later on tonight. Okay? Appreciate everybody coming in. Peace, power, unity. Talk to you guys later.